in the Mag Mile. Create your adventure during the Hyatt Centric Summer Promotion, featuring special rates for your weekend getaway. Now through May 31st, your Thursday through Sunday reservation receives up to a 15% room rate discount. That's 15% on the weekends. Reserve today at theloopchicago.centric.hyatt.com. theloopchicago.centric.hyatt.com. Rooms are fully prepaid and non-refundable at the time of booking, based on availability.
5:06. Let's get an update on the roads in our Guardian Security Services Traffic Center. Here's Jim Telemonte. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Mike. On the inbound Eisenhower, the overnight roadwork at the Burn Circle has cleared. Everything is open there once again, aside from the long-term construction, so you can get through on the inbound Ike Congress into the loop. Ryan Expressway inbound traffic is stop and go from the Stevenson to Roosevelt, so overnight work there has yet to clear. You're looking at a 10-minute delay, 25 minutes, 95th to downtown. In northwest Indiana, new road work on 94 eastbound from the Indiana Toll Road to US 20 and from the Port of the Fort County line to 421. It's a right lane closure. That first stretch is closed till 2 p.m. Friday. This, of course, is in addition to the ongoing work on the toll road. Traffic also is a service of JCPenney Optical. Get to JCPenney Optical for the Memorial Day sale. Louis Joliet Mall. Save 60% off frames and lenses. That's 60% off top designers like Liz Claiborne and Isaac Mizrahi. Visit jcpenneyoptical.com for details. Or find a store near you. Sale ends June 4th. Traffic answers when you need them most. Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. Let's get the latest this morning with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Some sun followed by clouds. Humid today with a couple of afternoon showers and a heavy thunderstorm with a high 86. A couple of showers and a thunderstorm tonight with a low 67. Humid tomorrow with clouds and sun, high 84. And at night becoming mostly cloudy with a low 66. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
A little sticky outside, 70 right now at O'Hare. Next news at 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Advanced Planning Advisors, bringing you Smart Money Talk with Mike Moylan and Rob Curvin, Saturday mornings at 6.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So, Amy, I had the...
Yeah, oh, hi, good morning. How are you?
I had the best round of my year yesterday.
Okay, let's talk about it. Is that why you're wearing a golf shirt today to celebrate?
No, because I'm going to go play golf to see if I can replicate it.
Okay, all right.
I'm probably going to have to leave in the 7 o'clock hour.
That's all right.
Because I want to get on the course.
We'll repeat the 5 and the 6. So what happened?
So I've been playing just terrible.
You know, I actually heard from somebody higher up in the Republican Party, too, how bad it was.
No,
that they were really concerned about you and your game, and what pulled me aside and said, what's wrong with Dan? I've never seen him. He's not a bad golfer, but he's atrocious out there.
I was
and then they canceled your round Sunday.
I was bad. I've been bad. I played at Park Ridge on Friday. I wasn't any good.
Before you went to prom?
Before I observed a prom.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, from a distance.
Technically, you were there.
And then I just I got lost in Wilmette. I just went for a bike ride and I got lost and people were concerned about me. Oh, that was Sinead O'Connor. Yeah. But mentally, metaphysically, that's what happened to me. And then I went to see my shaman yesterday.
Did you go to see a sports psychiatrist?
No.
Or psychologist?
Well, sort of. He's the teaching pro or a teaching pro at the Glen up in Glenview. Joe Bosco is his name, and he's excellent. He's really good, and I've gone to him off and on. And it wasn't mechanical. It's all between the ears. I'm a head case. I'm a complete basket case. Okay.
Really?
And as if this comes to any shock to you, but he got just a couple of things.
What did he do?
It's just a couple of things in terms of kind of expectations versus belief that you can So don't create expectations it's going to happen, but have confidence that it can happen. Just things like that. This is a golf lesson. And because it wasn't mechanical, it's all just in, this gray matter.
You do have the mechanics down.
Well, I should. I've been playing long enough. And so...
Well, how
so-
would you have rated yourself when we played in Puerto Los Cabos?
Well, that was like the first round of the year. So, I mean, I hadn't picked up a club in 6 months. So, no, I was...
And they weren't your clubs; they were rentals.
Yeah, but I was just wild. But, I mean, that was just like, I don't know, slapping the ball around the course
Oh,
and
yeah,
enjoying the scenery.
just one of those. Yeah.
I mean, I was playing with a girl, for gosh sakes. I mean, that doesn't count as a round.
You were playing with a woman.
Yeah,
Okay.
well.
Not a girl. All right. So after I got in your head in that round, because I
Yeah.
spanked you and the other three we were with.
Well, I don't.
I held my own.
I don't
held my own.
recall it quite that way, but yeah. So then I go out yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just chill. I'm not pressing. I'm have confidence, but I have no expectations.
Did he go with you, or
No,
you
no,
had this
no.
chat and then you went out by yourself?
He was on my shoulder, much like I am during your day, as my personal gazoo, just like I am for you. I shot 74 yesterday.
74? Really?
Yeah. Thank you. And
I'm so
I
proud of
appreciate the golf clap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're going to go back out at today?
No,
Same course?
And by
or
the
where are you
way,
gonna go?
I played Harborside, which is a tough course. The wind is always
that's-
blowing out there.
It's a links course. That's a hard course.
And I walked it, which is like doing a mountain hike. But it was good. I really kind of communed with my game, and I
so
felt good about it.
You didn't play up in the Glen. You just met him there.
Well,
and
that
had
was
your
I got the lesson on Monday,
Okay, on Monday, and then
I played
Right.
yesterday. I had to get right out there and put it to the test. And now I'm going out again
you got a 74
today.
at Harborside?
Yeah, I'm
That's
gonna.
really good.
Yeah, well.
Hence, let me do the golf clap.
Yeah, thank you.
And where are you going to go today?
Harborside.
Oh,
See if I can replicate it.
Please clap.
Yeah.
Please.
Thank you. I appreciate that support from the
But
Bush
it is
family.
frustrating when you know that you have the fundamentals down, the mechanics, but there's something wrong, and you figured it out.
I hate the game so much, but it hates me more, and I can't.
But
stop.
every time you have a great shot, it brings you back. It sucks you right back in.
Yeah.
Because I know the great Ron Majors, who, by the way, tonight is his last. In case you haven't heard,
I don't
Ron
I don't know
Majors
who that is.
retiring tonight at 10 p.m. is his last show, and then he'll be off the airways in Chicago.
I'm not familiar with.
Oh, you don't know Ron Majors? He used to work at Channel 5. He used to work at King TV,
Channel
where he
5
was the big king.
Doing what?
He was a main anchor there.
Oh, they have a newscast?
They have a newscast.
I see.
Yes, they do.
All right.
So I'd heard the story that Ron Majors used to play golf, but got so frustrated, just threw his bag in the pond and never played golf again. But a lot of people, that happens to a lot of people.
That's the difference between me and so many lesser souls, is that I am a lash to the mast kind of guy. So if golf is my albatross, then it's taken me down, because I'm not stopping. I will not quit.
I just feel bad because my dad, who's an avid golfer, golfs.
Yeah, your
literally-
dad's apparently a really good player.
Yeah, and he was captain of golf at Purdue, played in
Yeah,
high school
okay,
at
well,
Lane
that's a
Tech,
good
and
player.
so. But he plays every day. He's got a back injury, and I think that
He's lost his reason to live.
it's bad.
There's no more. I mean, as kids, yeah, it's nice to have kids and
yeah,
grandkids. That's
yeah,
nice.
who call
But if I
every
can't
so
play
often.
golf,
Then what do you
what's
have?
the point?
What's the
What are we
point?
doing here?
But also, he takes care of these ducks on the golf course that he feeds them all the time. He brings food for them, and
Yeah.
I'm worried about. But he still goes out and sees the ducks, but he can't play.
Well, I'll tell you what. Maybe if his grandchildren would call a little
Oh
bit
my
more
God.
often, he wouldn't have to use his ducks as the ducks as a surrogate for his loved ones. Did you ever think of that?
They're so cute. I should
What,
show
what
you a
have you
picture
done
of
to
them.
that man?
I don't know. It's so cute. They love him. As soon as my dad goes, "Wah, wah," they go, "Wah, wah, wah," and then they just hover right around him. Then he feeds them, and then he goes across on the other side of the green. Then they swim back over the pond, and it's really sweet.
There must be a vigil at present. Where does he play? He plays the Arboretum
Yeah,
course?
yeah,
That's a good track.
yeah. I've played there. You should play with them sometime.
If I can replicate, well, I'm not playing with the former captain of the Purdue golf team until I can replicate what I did yesterday. If I
Okay.
go out there and play like I played the last few rounds, where I didn't the club was like a foreign object in my hands, then no, I'm not going to do that.
He
I've
has
had enough embarrassment in
He
my
has a
life.
course record at Chevy Chase.
Does he
did.
really?
Yeah, it's 68. He shot a 68 there.
It's about my best round of my life, which was about 75 years ago.
Oh, that's right.
Was at COG at Dubs. I shot a
Really?
68.
You shot a 68 on Dubs?
Yeah, yeah. But I was like 22.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
How did your dad learn to play?
I have no idea. I mean, he just played. I don't know.
Well,
So
I mean, how do you pick up it's always just interesting how you
I think
pick
he
up the
picked it
game.
up in high school. I mean, he was on the golf team in high school.
Well, because I'm saying I grew up caddying, so that's how I got introduced to the game.
Yes, he was a caddy. Where was he?
Yeah, see, that's what it
I'm
is.
sure I should know these things.
I hope
Bad daughter.
Parents out there, don't allow your children to caddy. It is a gateway drug to playing golf for the rest of your life and living in torture, except when you shoot 74 at Harborside.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Really warm out there already. Excuse me, 64 degrees right now, going up to a high today of 86. But we have a heavy thunderstorm rolling through here early this afternoon, and then tonight a couple of showers and thunderstorms. And tomorrow, very warm, humid with clouds and sun, a high of 84 degrees. Any troubles on the roadway? Here's Jim Telemonte.
Yes, Amy, good morning. Good morning, Dan. On the inbound Ryan, it is stop and go from 31st to Roosevelt. There's extra road work in the right lane. This is overnight construction, which is late in lifting. We're looking at 25 minutes, 95th to downtown. So it's a 10-minute delay. And with the morning rush building anyway on the Ryan, this probably is never really going to clear up. It's stop and go on the express starting at 31st as well. Inbound Kennedy, the express lanes have yet to reopen. After they've been closed for overnight work, they should be opening shortly. We're not seeing significant delays on the Kennedy. The other expressways and tollways for now are looking good. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Guardian Security Services Traffic Center.
Rolling hills and beautiful prairie views. You can take it all in when you play golf at Golf Club of Illinois in Algonquin. Play at one of the finest golf courses in Illinois with a special seasonal deal from ChicagoRadioDeals.com. The Golf Club of Illinois is a classic link-style course featuring high grasses, treacherous sand bunkers, and strategically placed mounds on each hole. This course is a stern test for all skill levels, including Dan Proft, and is consistently ranked among the top 10 public courses to play by Chicagoland Golf. So find out why Golf Club of Illinois is a secret favorite for those looking for a unique, challenging round of golf. Play with your favorite foursome or golf buddies for only $95. That includes cart and is usually almost $200, so that's a great deal. Or for the dedicated golfer, tee up the preferred player membership, normally $380, only $165 at ChicagoRadioDeals.com. That includes discounted rates for rounds of golf, cart, and 2 bonus rounds of golf during the 2016 season. Why wait for sun and fun? Start summer early. Start it now. Begin by going to ChicagoRadioDeals.com.
Hey, let's get sentimental. Think about how much your father means to you. Now ask, what am I getting Dad for Father's Day on June 19th? It's weird, but did you know that 82% of all people don't know that you're supposed to change pillows every 2 years or less? That's because pillows absorb dead skin, dirt, skin, oils, and dust mites that can cause allergies, acne, asthma, and who knows what else. So if you haven't already done so, you need a washable MyPillow, and so does your dad. I may buy one for my dog Hunter. With a 10-year warranty, it's a great gift and health investment as well. And you'll sleep better. I do. That's why MyPillow is the official pillow of the National Sleep Foundation. Visit MyPillow.com or call 1-800-489-0201. Use the promo code Joe for the 2-for-1 offer. Keep one for you. Do it now. 800-489-0201 or online at MyPillow.com. Promo code Joe. 800-489-0201.
Lately, it seems you're not feeling quite right, as if your body is working against you. Dr. Amy and Associates can help create a path to achieve optimal health. Experience personalized health care for your mind, body, and spirit at a practice that blends holistic and traditional medicine.
Hi, I'm Dr. Amy Harris-Nuon of Dr. Amy and Associates. As an integrative health and wellness center, we take a team approach to your health care, so we welcome the opportunity to work collaboratively with your current health care provider. We're different from today's typical standard of care because our focus is on understanding the root cause of your health problem, not just treating the symptoms. It's a personalized approach that explores a wide range of proven treatments and one that's focused on helping you achieve your health and wellness goals so you can achieve a full, happy, and satisfying life.
Call Dr. Amy and Associates to experience a whole-person integrative approach to health and wellness. 630-980-1400 or visit DrAmyAndAssociates.com. Dr. Amy and Associates. Empowering people, changing lives.
AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So did you see the Trump rally in Albuquerque, New Mexico last night?
Yeah.
Little chaotic.
Yeah, we call it the Q, man. That's what they call it if you live, in Albuquerque. But yeah, there's 1,000 people outside the Albuquerque Convention Center, and 100 of them decided to start throwing bottles and rocks and take down the barricades. And I have to tell you, the Albuquerque police showed an enormous amount of restraint. Only one person was arrested, but they pepper sprayed them, and they put smoke canisters out, and they brought in the mounted police, and it was pretty crazy.
Here was a bit of a CNN account.
But you can see that things now are steadily eroding. We're going to move back a little bit, Wolf. You can see the smoke. Now lots of protesters are throwing rocks at police. This has now descended into chaos as we're moving back.
Descended into chaos. That was the name of your high school band, right?
It was the name, yeah.
It descended
into chaos. It was like a hair band, kind of a heavy metal tinge, but we did rock ballads, too. So here's the thing about that. Protesters, a lot of protesters waving Mexican flags, wearing bandanas. They had F Trump.
Yep.
They were chanting F the police. So the Trump campaign, of course, responded with a big thank you. Thank you. At least that's what the response should be, because the more you see of these protesters, the better Trump looks. I'm not just telling me. I'm saying kind of writ large in America. If you think the images that were reported across the cable news channels last night do anything but benefit Donald Trump, then I think you're sorely mistaken. I understand that there's a certain sliver of the population, young, angry people who react violently with any perceived slight or microaggression. But the rest of the country, the adults in this country, and the adults are still the majority.
Don't tell them that.
They are not going to look at that and say, "Yep, I want to be on their side." So if you're if these protesters that are following Trump around, and I mean they varied, but a lot of them have been.
There's a large Mexican American population in Albuquerque.
Well, of course, but Chicago, California, these I forget the Latino or people of color protesting. Did you see the video the other day of these high school kids outside of a Trump rally in New Jersey, taunting Trump supporters? These like high school punks with the most vile, juvenile language, profanity, and scatological references to adults, kids to adults. If I had been doing that, if my dad saw that on a video,
you'd get your butt kicked.
He would come down there. He wouldn't make any scatological references. He would tie me in scatological knots.
Well, the parents are probably promoting the kids to do it.
Well,
hey, I'll sign your permission slip. Go down in front of that Trump rally and yell at people.
Well, the bottom line is, we've made this mention before, as have others, but we've been talking about it for a while. If this starts to get the feel of 68 all over again, I know the demographics of the country are different, but the sensibility isn't all that different, not among the majority. And they're not going to look at what those people are doing, as they were doing last night in Albuquerque, and say, yep, that's the side I want to be on. If that's what Hillary Clinton endorses, stands for, tolerates, then I'm voting for Donald Trump, regardless of the qualms I may have about him.
Well, inside, there were thousands of people there waiting to see their hero, their fan, their big, I should say, celebrity fans of Donald Trump. And he talked about, Hillary Clinton, he did not root for the economy to crash because she came out with this new ad saying that he was excited to capitalize on the economy crashing, blah, 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 bought 5,000 homes. Right. But he attacked Hillary Clinton. And this is why it's so hard for me to love Donald Trump.
And I will never say this, but she screams, it drives me crazy. I didn't say it. I can't listen. She goes, and Donald Trump is a terrible person. And he wanted to buy housing when it was at a low point. Who the hell doesn't? Who doesn't?
It's kind of a good point. It's actually kind of a good point. I mean, I gotta say, I do not like Trump, and I'm never going to like him, and I'm never going to change my mind about what kind of person I think he is.
Mm-hmm.
But I do get some cheap thrills
when
he takes down the idiocy of the left like he does from time to time, and that's actually a good example. Trump.
Oh, by the way, he's 8 delegates away now because I don't know if I should tell you this. He did win the Washington Republican primary last night.
He is projected to win. John Kasich projected to finish 4th out of 3.
And did he finish 4th?
He finished.
He did.
Just barely behind Ted Cruz, I think. So
Okay.
this just in. Trump is going to be the Republican nominee for president. He is going to get to 1237. You heard it here first.
You have California
3 months ago.
2 weeks away.
But the other thing that was interesting in the Trump rally, before Trump got to the stage, this guy, was it Steve Miller is his name? No relation to Abracadabra Man. Steve Miller, Trump advisor, was warming up the crowd.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this.
And he did a little selected reading I thought was fun.
Now, the book Clinton Cash is to Hillary Clinton what the famous Black Book is to the mafia. It's got all the names, all the dollar amounts, all of the figures.
That's a good comparison.
Really?
And it's perfect timing because at 7:35 this morning, we're going to have Peter Schweitzer, the author of Clinton Cash, on to talk about his book. And I think what he thinks, or it'd be interesting to get his take on what he thinks are going to be the stories from the book that are most relevant to Hillary Clinton's prosecution, or if she's not prosecuted, to the campaign, because you only have so much bandwidth to bring back so many stories. And as we said, when this book came out last year, and we talked to Peter Schweitzer, and we talked about all of the stories in there kind of spanning the globe, Brett Baer did a whole Fox News special on the book and all of Clinton Inc.'s business dealings. But which stories best encapsulate Clinton Inc., such that they'll move voters? Because all of this needs to be reintroduced. People don't remember from last year.
Yeah.
And then just one more ad that's out. This is from David Brock. 21st Century is his super PAC. David Brock is this kind of shrill left-wing Hillary flack running a pro-Hillary Clinton super PAC. And they focus not on the Trump treatment of women, not on the incendiary comments, on the conspiracy theories. Let me introduce you to the T-Files, because Trump is out there.
Talking about conspiracy theories that Trump has brought up.
Kooky conspiracy theories.
Scalia, was he murdered?
They say they found the pillow in a safe, which is a pretty unusual place to find a pillow.
You know what? His grandmother said he was born in Kenya, and she was there and witnessed the birth.
I'm not making that up.
You're really not sure that Marco Rubio is eligible to run for president?
I don't know.
Ted Cruz may not be a U.S. citizen.
Because he was born in Canada.
His father was with Lee Harvey Oswald prior to Oswald being shot.
There was a picture of the father. He was having lunch with Lee Harvey Oswald.
The beautiful child went to have the vaccine, now is autistic.
This whole global warming hoax.
A lot of it's a hoax. It's a hoax.
The Mexican government forces many bad people into our country.
I don't make up anything. When the World Trade Center came tumbling down, thousands and thousands of people were cheering.
And they were dancing on rooftops.
You will find out who really knocked down the World Trade Center, because they have papers in there that are very secret.
They did know it was coming, and George Tenet, the head of the CIA, told them that it was coming.
Yeah, so...
And now he's saying that Vince Foster's death was very fishy, or his suicide.
Katrina Pearson, his national spokesperson, was saying that. It said, kind of repeated that. Why should we believe everything the media tells us? She repeated that with Wolf Blitzer on CNN yesterday.
And he told that to the Washington Post, too, Donald Trump. It's very fishy, Dan, but that's all I say. I mean, and why didn't they put out? I don't know about Seventh-day Adventists.
Yeah.
I mean, you tell me, what do you know about Seventh-day Adventists?
Well, that's kind of one of the questions, right? Does it even matter what Donald Trump says, or is it just enough the way he says it? Could the conspiracy theories create enough doubt in enough people's minds to say maybe this guy doesn't have the mental stability for the job?
Look into the darkness, Mulder.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
On AM 560, The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to focus in and talk about the big ideas behind the important issues. Enter Upstream Ideas. Online at upstream-ideas.com. Upstream Ideas, in partnership with the Illinois Policy Institute, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted beliefs. Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now at upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to help encourage you to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit freer, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
So they do swing dancing at proms?
I wouldn't know.
We did the bump and grind at ours. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Coming up on Chicago's
That's
Morning
TMI.
Answer.
Right,
Wait. How many proms did you go to? 7?
7.
Yeah.
Coming up at 5:38, Amy Jacobson does the Lambada, and we talk about Hillary. Dick Morris does a bit of psychoanalysis of the Clintons. Pretty interesting stuff.
But first, into the newsroom we go to a man who's swinging with the news. Here's Mike Scott.
Clouds and 70. Some severe weather could be on the way later today, and cleanup is underway in Ford County, Kansas, where multiple tornadoes flipped vehicles and damaged homes yesterday. National Weather Service says several were hurt. Lead forecaster Bill Turner.
We have tornadoes in large hail all the time, especially here in May. This is the peak of our season. About 15 days before and after Memorial Day is the peak of our season here in southwest Kansas. And so this is certainly nothing unusual. This was a pretty big outbreak, though, for us.
There were sightings of rare dual tornadoes near Dodge City, Kansas. Reports House Speaker Paul Ryan will endorse likely Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump. That report from ABC News citing senior-level Trump campaign sources confirming that Ryan will endorse the billionaire real estate magnate. The head of the TSA will be grilled on Capitol Hill today. Administrator Peter Neffinger will be at a U.S. House hearing discussing long lines at major airports. Speaking of Donald Trump, police in New Mexico calling for calm. Things turned violent outside a Trump rally last night. Meantime, Trump telling the people of New Mexico their Republican governor is not doing her job. The likely GOP nominee unloaded on Governor Suzanne Martinez.
Since 2000, the number of people on food stamps in New Mexico has tripled. We have to get your governor to get going. She's got to do a better job. Okay?
Martinez has
Your
been
governor
critical
has
of
got to do a
Trump.
better job.
She did not attend the rally, and the governor's press secretary later issued a statement saying Trump apparently doesn't realize Martinez wasn't elected 16 years ago. She was first elected in 2011. Parents at a Chicago elementary school where high lead levels were detected in the water from 3 fountains met with city officials to find out how that issue will be addressed. CPS began testing for lead in 32 schools last month. Former U.S. Education Secretary who once ran Chicago's public schools added to the board of the directors for the Lucas Museum. Arnie Duncan previously worked at Ariel Investments, where George Lucas's wife, Melody Hobson, is president. Duncan is also close to Ariel's CEO, John Rogers. Duncan's presence on the board may help sway public opinion in favor of the lakefront site proposed for the museum. It is the subject of a lawsuit by Friends of the Parks. Cubs beat St. Louis 12-3. Cleveland over the White Sox and Chris Sales 6-2. The news, a service of J.C. Penney Optical. Get to J.C. Penney Optical for the Memorial Day sale at Louis Joliet Mall. 60% off frames and lenses. That's 60% off top designers like Liz Claiborne and Isaac Mizrahi. Visit jcpenneyoptical.com for details or to find a store near you. Sale ends June 4th. 5:35 is our time. We'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity believes it's a good idea for Trump to hold on to his tax return.
It's going to look confusing, and it's going to be distorted and twisted by a media that's going to say, see, he didn't pay his fair share. He paid only 22% of his income in taxes because he used this loophole and that loophole. Well, that's the way you guys set it up. So I actually think Trump's smart not to release his taxes because there's no good that's going to come out of it.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
Tea times, golf outings, driving range, golf academy, brunch, dinner, weddings, banquets, receptions. Find and do it all at the Bolingbrook Golf Club. Info online at BolingbrookGolfClub.com.
Illinois deserves an honest analysis of the problems facing our state. Avoid the spin from the mainstream media and Springfield insiders by tuning in to Illinois Rising every Sunday at 3 p.m. AM 560's Dan Proft and the Illinois Policy Institute tackle the policy and political issues that matter most and discuss possible solutions. So if you're sick of the status quo, then be sure to listen to Illinois Rising this Sunday at 3 p.m. on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey, size matters. Look to the Italians. They made it happen. The Colosseum, the Vatican, the Tower of Pisa, and Augustino's Rock and Roll Deli Sandwiches. Yeah! Their signature subs are as big as your forearm, hefty and fully loaded with the highest quality deli meats on artisan bread. Their homemade Italian beef sandwiches are sliced paper thin, using their own family recipe. And if you can't choose between the burgers, wraps, or hand-rolled meatball sandwiches, then get them all. Feed your inner rock star. Eat amongst authentic rock and roll memorabilia while you enjoy the soundtrack of your glory days. Or pick up and go. Either way, Augie's offers fast, fresh, and affordable food. Even gluten-free options. Augustino's Rock and Roll Deli, Carroll Stream or West Chicago. Be sure to visit augustinos.com for full menus and directions. And if the party's on at your house, look to Augie's for catering. Don't make it happen with Augustino's Rock and Roll Deli.
Mike Rowe here for 1 hour. Today, Chuck is jogging in place to make a point about energy efficiency.
I thought I was training for a marathon.
He's been at it now for...
3 minutes.
And already he's wearing out.
I'm not.
Your heating and air conditioning systems are a lot like Chuck.
Warm yet somehow cool?
Wheezing, wasting energy, and probably headed for replacement.
You're talking about the air systems, right?
Sure, pal. Sure. Call 1 hour before it's too late.
Can you do the disclaimer for me?
Each independent franchise is licensed in its respective state or county.
Thanks.
5:38 in the Guardian Security Services Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On the inbound ride at Roosevelt, overnight roadwork has finally cleared, but it's about a half hour late in clearing, and the damage is done. It is stop and go from 47th to Roosevelt, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Express lane delays start at Pershing. This is causing the inbound Stevenson to jam up now, with delays from Cicero to Pulaski and Damon to the ride. 38 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Bishop Ford got a 5-minute delay from 111th to the merge. Traffic also is a service of JCPenney Optical. Get to JCPenney Optical for the Memorial Day sale at Louis Joliet Mall. Save 60% off frames and lenses. That's 60% off top designers like Liz Claiborne and Isaac Mizrahi. Visit jcpenneyoptical.com for details or to find a store near you. Sale ends June 4th. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. A couple of showers and a heavy thunderstorm later this afternoon, high 86. Showers and storms continue into the overnight hours, low 67. 64 at O'Hare. Next news at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by The Lou Bridges Show, a show about the greatest financial crime in history. Saturday mornings at 8 on AM 560, The Answer.
AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So, did you see this?
Sorry, I'm singing
do
Rock
you know
Lobster.
who sings that?
Somebody.
Yes, somebody does sing that. No, don't. No, do not help her.
on,
Do
David
not help her.
Stripling, help me.
There's no help. This is not. Some wired quiz show game.
Mike, Scott, help me.
No,
Hand signal.
no help.
Hand signal.
How do you not know this?
5, 2.
B-52.
Oh my gosh.
That's right.
I should
B-52.
just give it to her.
I know.
Pathetic. Okay. Ken Starr may be impeached at Baylor.
Yeah, I heard about this. This is not looking good for the man.
And I'm a fan of Ken Starr, and
right-wing conspiracy to take down the Clintons.
All right, he's part of the leader of the vast right-wing conspiracy. Although the timing is interesting because he's just participated in a forum at the National Constitution Center in Philadelphia. That's an Obama-free zone.
You went to that, right?
I did not. But as reported in the New York Times, Ken Starr had some nice things to say about one former President Bill Clinton. There are certain tragic dimensions which we all lament, he said about essentially the impeachment. That having been said, the idea of this redemptive process afterwards, we have certainly seen that powerfully in Mr. Clinton's post-presidency. He called Bill Clinton the most gifted politician of the baby boomer generation. He added, his genuine empathy for human beings is absolutely clear. This is Ken Starr talking. It is powerful, it is palpable, and the folks of Arkansas really understood that about him, that he genuinely cared. The I feel your pain, quote unquote, is absolutely genuine. How about that? For somebody that was, out to get Bill Clinton, as the left would have you believe, and Hillary.
Well, there's a report this morning that's breaking that says Board of Regents is expected to fire President Ken Starr.
It was reported they had done it yesterday, but the Board of Regents did not confirm that, right? So it's still a pending issue. But yeah, this has nothing to do with his kind words for Bill Clinton, although that would be a terminable offense in my estimation. If I was on the Board of Regents, I would move to fire him over those comments. Okay. But though this is about
the Bears football team.
Yeah, this is about
Baylor Bears.
Bad behavior by some of the football players over the last couple of years. I mean, criminally bad behavior, and how the universities responded. They commissioned an internal report that they're reviewing. So the two are unrelated, but the timing is strange. I'll tell you, if Ken Starr is fired, you know who should be the president coach at Baylor?
The president and coach?
The president. He's the first president of the university and football coach at Baylor University. You know who it should be?
I have no idea.
Mike Scott knows who it should be.
Oh.
Who should it be, Mike Scott?
Mike Singletary.
That's it. There it is. Mike Singletary. How about that?
Did you guys talk before the show?
No.
We plan this little number out?
We're just on the same wavelength. The fact that we're wearing the same outfits, that we did not talk.
Are
just
you guys
on
going
the
to Great
same
America
wavelength.
after the show?
Yeah.
We're in the same clothes so you don't lose each other.
We're working at Great America after the show.
No, but according to the Board of Regents, they believe that Ken Starr is to blame for the school's failure in handling 6 to 8 alleged rape cases.
Yeah, there's a
and
number
sexual assault reports.
Number of arrests, including an NFL prospect on the Baylor football team. So we'll see how that plays out for Ken Starr. Somebody else that's also in a bit of hot water, it looks like Feel the Perm is going to be sacrificed to the Bernie hordes who are feeling the burn over her tenure as DNC chairman, Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
What's up, Big Perm? A.K.A. Todd Christensen.
Yeah.
What's happening to Todd Christensen?
Dems discuss dropping Wasserman Schultz. One pro-Clinton Democrat senator who shall remain nameless. There have been a lot of meetings over the past 48 years about what color plate do we deliver over the last a lot of meetings over the past 48 hours.
Do you want a do-over?
Yeah,
try that again.
A lot of meetings over the past 48 hours about what color plate do we deliver Debbie Wasserman Schultz's head on. It's vivid.
I didn't know Bernie had so much power.
Another lawmaker said, I don't see how she can continue to the election. How can she open the convention? Sanders supporters would go nuts.
Oh, that's true.
I think it's very true.
They should be booed off stage.
I think it's going to be great, and there's going to be nothing more really satisfying than to see Debbie Wasserman Schultz deposed before we even get to the July convention. And this has been brought upon herself. Now, contrast, for all the criticism of the GOP establishment, contrast Debbie Wasserman Schultz to Reince Priebus. Your criticisms of Reince Priebus, whatever they may be. He played it straight down the middle. Mm-hmm. He really did not put his finger on the scale for any candidate, even when the field had narrowed down to, Trump versus Cruz. And he wasn't in the Never Trump camp. He wasn't in the Trump camp. He played it straight. He set up the debates. He presented the case. His messaging was consistent, focusing on infrastructure building for whoever the Republican nominee is, which is the proper role of the RNC chairman. It's not to select the nominee or to participate in one camp or the other. Even with his brothers in arms in the Badger State going all in for Cruz to try and stop Trump and help Cruz win Wisconsin, which they did. Even with Paul Ryan's resistance, although that's watered down now that Trump's not now the nominee and he is expected to endorse Trump in the near term. But Reince Priebus played it straight. And I think he deserves a lot of credit for it. I think he provided a pretty good example of how it's done. And Debbie Wasserman Schultz provided just the opposite example. And this is why, because of Bernie's performance and because of the essentially sway he has because of winning 20 states, with probably more to come before it's all said and done.
He might win California.
Yeah. So
he's
now,
campaigning hard. He's 2 weeks, and every day he's going to be somewhere in California.
Now she's got to go, and Sanders is backing. He already said if he was the nominee, she'd be gone, but also backing her primary challenger for her congressional seat.
Why hasn't the mainstream media picked up on this infighting? Because if this was on the Republican
they have
side,
picked up on it to some extent.
It would be blown. I mean, it would be leading every newscast.
Well, they have picked up on it to some extent. I mean, they certainly, Tim Canova, who's the law professor challenging Wasserman Schultz in the primary, he's been doing some interviews. The Hill reported this story late yesterday. So there has been some pickup of it, and that's only going to increase in pace. I also note Bernie Sanders getting a little testy. He's providing a little pushback as the chorus from the Washington press corps of "Why don't you get out? You're hurting Hillary," and that's just unacceptable because we need to focus on Trump. And now that polls show the race is a dead heat, the Washington press corps is really getting jumpy about Sanders' continued presence. He had this retort to one Fungible Today show reporter about dropping out.
Well, I guess if we take your assumption and Clinton supporters' assumption to the logical conclusion, you know what we should do? We should go back to a monarchy and not have any elections at all.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I was saying it sarcastically. You know what? This is a competitive process. This is an election. She hasn't won it. I'm still competing. I'm winning states. Why should I drop out? That's what we have elections for. And this is where I agree with Bernie Sanders. Democracy is a messy thing. It's competitive. Certain people want a certain outcome, but there's a process. And Bernie Sanders has every right to stay in the race. Every right to stay in the race. Just as the candidates, when there was a lot of calls for other candidates to get out of the Republican primary, most notably Ted Cruz, he had every right to stay in the race and play this out as long as he wanted to, frankly.
I know, but why didn't he play it out longer? That's why I was still in shock. Over. I know, but I just thought he would keep it going. And a lot of people were shocked when Ted Cruz called it quits or put his campaign on hold, excuse me.
By the way, to Bernie's point,
yes,
this interesting story comes to us from the Washington Examiner. The popular children's educational publishing firm Scholastic, in their recent offerings, blurring the line between the U.S. president and a king or a queen, incorrectly depicts the executive branch as the chief of the party and the, quote, guardian of the economy. This is for textbook and other academic material for grades 3 through 12. The article in the Scholastic periodicals boosts the president to emperor status by comparing the role of the chief of state to that of a king or queen, claiming it is a great honor for any citizen to shake the president's hand. The article continues, in Washington's day, many people thought the president's power were only those directly mentioned in Article 2 of the Constitution. Apparently they're not anymore. I mean, I know in practice they haven't been, but I guess we just rewrite the Constitution based on what a president does, and because it's the rule of man, not the rule of law. And it goes on in this vein to completely misrepresent the constitutional powers of the president and to make the I think, which is an appropriate conclusion, this comparison between a president and a king or a queen. Did you ever see, you never saw Fargo, right? You never watched Fargo?
Well, I watched the movie.
No, I'm talking about the TV series.
No, I live near there.
That doesn't count.
Well, everybody talked like that.
Well,
they hate it. By the way, people in Minnesota hate the movie Fargo.
Because it's dead on.
Because it's exactly.
Right.
Everybody talk, good morning.
And
let's go out to Ami Jakobsen at the Viking Mall Plaza.
It's not bad.
Thank you. I live near Brainerd, where that took place.
You should try out for season 3.
You know what? I think I should too.
Well, in season 2, there's this character Mike Milligan who's like a mob killer, and
Swedish mob killer.
No, he's excellent.
We're so good, you don't know we're part of the mob.
Excellent cast, and he has this exchange with somebody, and the guy says, "We don't elect kings here in America," and Mike Milligan says, "Of course we do. We just call them something else."
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
Cloudy skies this morning, but it sure is warm. 68 degrees. When you step out the door, going up to a high today of 86 degrees. We do have a chance of a heavy shower and thunderstorm this afternoon and then this evening. And tomorrow, very warm, humid with clouds and sunshine, a high of 84. Let's get those travel times. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy and Dan. The inbound Ryan is a mess thanks to overnight roadwork being late in clearing. It finally is out of the way at Roosevelt. The damage is done. It's slow from 95th to 71st and 63rd to the Burn Circle. It's 35 minutes, 95th to downtown. This is causing delays on the Stevenson 2. Slow Harlem to Kedzie and Western to the Ryan. 40 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. I-57, 19 minutes, I-80 to the Merge, Bishop Ford 20. Eden's, Kennedy still good, inbound Eisenhower. Got about 3 minutes worth of delays, 17th Avenue to 1st Avenue. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Guardian Security Services Traffic Center.
Looking to secure financing on a new home or refinance your existing home, then you need to do what Amy did and call David Hochberg at Pearl Mortgage. Kevin, Army veteran, called his realtor's preferred lender who pre-qualified him for a mortgage. When he purchased the home, he called the realtor's preferred lender who forgot his name and didn't have any notes from their previous conversations. Kevin was upset and frustrated, so he called his dad for advice, and Kevin's dad told him to call David because he was the only lender Kevin's dad trusted. David thanked Kevin for his service, answered his questions, and introduced him to his VA loan expert, who's an Air Force veteran, who's helping Kevin secure a VA loan. If you're a veteran purchasing a home and would like to work with a team of loan experts who specialize in helping veterans secure VA loans, call David now, 312-751-1333, or visit am560david.com. David's helped Amy and Kevin and thousands of AM560 listeners, but he can't help you if you don't call 312-751-1333. That number again, 312-751-1333, or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage is an equal housing lender, Illinois residential mortgagee, a mortgage licensee, 4358, NMLS 19186.
Place your orders for promotional items now for the year. Get ready for the big trade show. Provide shirts or jackets for all of your employees, students, or church members. Or giveaway items like coffee mugs, pens, or hats. Whatever it is, you can trust an American to take care of it.
This is Sam Gilberto, president of American Embroidery and Screen Printing and American Marketing Products. We specialize in putting your logo on just about anything. Our focus is entirely on you, our customer. We want every customer experience to be outstanding.
Here's an offer to help your budgets for the new year. 10% off and free artwork on embroidery and screen printing orders for all new customers. 10% off and free artwork on embroidery and screen printing orders for all new customers.
We have the capability, capacity, and know-how to get your job done right and on time.
Call 630-766-2825. 630-766-2825. Get more at trustinamerican.com.
Not available in all states. Whoa, what do you have there?
It's a Reese and Irvy's frozen yogurt. We just had our robot make one.
A robot made your frozen yogurt?
Yes, from Reese and Irvy's, the world's first fully interactive robot vending machine that serves 9 flavors of delicious yogurt with 6 amazing toppings. And it's available for an exclusive franchise opportunity.
Wait, you mean I can own my own frozen yogurt robots?
And make money at the same time. These robots are the future of frozen yogurt franchising. They can be placed almost anywhere and operate 24/7. Malls, theme parks, grocery stores, you name it.
A robot that serves frozen yogurt. That's revolutionary.
Exactly. Reese and Irvy's Froyo robots are taking the market by storm. No more messy yogurt bars, long lines, or do-it-yourself machines. Just delicious frozen yogurt in 60 seconds or less. Anytime, anywhere.
How do I get my own Reese and Irvy's robots?
It's easy, but you better act now. Locations and machines are going fast. Just go to froyofranchising.com. That's froyofranchising.com. Check it out now, froyofranchising.com.
The stock market may seem like a roller coaster ride, but your finances don't have to be. You may be wondering, is there another big correction on the horizon? If so, are you prepared? Or are you at the mercy of stockbrokers if it happens? Let Online Trading Academy teach you how to navigate the stock market during these changing times. They offer professional trading and investing education for every skill level. They'll teach you a rules-based strategy, trading on knowledge, not speculation, so you can identify market changes before they happen. Reserve your seat today for a free half-day training course at their state-of-the-art education facility in Lombard. Call 877-OTA-CHIC now. Mention this ad. And Online Trading Academy will send you a free home video study course valued at $247 just for calling. Call now, 877-OTA-CHIC. CHIC.
The average Republican voter out there right now is looking for an outsider who will blow the whole damn thing up.
The Joe Walsh Show.
I don't want somebody who comes from Washington. I don't want somebody to get along with Democrats. Not this year. I want the whole system blown up. That's why Trump, or that's why Cruz.
The Joe Walsh Show. Weeknights starting at 5. Right after Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
This year, that's where Republican voters are at.
Hi, I'm Lex Howard, CEO of Balance of Nature. Statistics show that most people will listen to this commercial 7 times before they finally purchase Balance of Nature. Don't be a statistic. Take action to determine your future.
I'm a big supporter of the product. I think it did wonders for me. 2 winters ago, I had, between November and March, I had 5 head colds, and each time it was like a 2-week ordeal. Last winter with your product, I didn't have a single one.
I love it. I really do. I have more energy. I sleep better, and my bowels are becoming more normal.
Begin giving your body the fruits and vegetables it needs every day. Accept and complete Dr. Howard's 120-day health challenge to earn a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
CertaPro painters are here for every stage of your life, from moving into a new home, creating the ideal nursery, to reinventing your living space. CertaPro painting experts create the perfect setting while you do life. They came to our home and brightened our walls and our moods so very quiet they wouldn't wake a baby. But the best part? They clean up after themselves so you don't have to do it. And now that spring is here, it is the perfect time to spruce up your home's exterior. Take a look at your home. Do you see chipping, peeling, fading? Well, leave it to CertaPro painting experts to refresh, renew, and protect your biggest investment, your home. Now is the time to call for your free estimate and schedule your exterior painting project. 1-800-GO-CERTA, 1-800-GOCERTA. That's CERTA with a C. Or visit CertaPro.com today, CertaPro.com. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated.
Are you hiring? Do you know where to post your job to find the best candidates? Posting your job in one place isn't enough to find quality candidates. If you want to find the perfect hire, you need to post your job on all the top job sites. And now you can. With ZipRecruiter.com, you can post your job to 100 plus job sites, including social media networks like Facebook and Twitter, all with a single click. Find candidates in any city or industry nationwide. Just post once and watch your qualified candidates roll in to ZipRecruiter's easy-to-use interface. No juggling emails or calls to your office. Quickly screen candidates, rate them, and hire the right person fast. Find out today why ZipRecruiter has been used by over 400,000 businesses. And right now, listeners can try ZipRecruiter for free by going to ZipRecruiter.com/radiotalk. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radiotalk. One more time. To try it for free, go to ZipRecruiter.com/radiotalk.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Benghazi Misinformation Officer Susan Rice says U.S. national security personnel are too white, too male, and too Yale at 6:06.
And later, exclusive information about the Drew Peterson murder for hire trial. But first, let's go back into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, 2 FBI agents shot while serving a warrant in Park Forest, recovering after being released from an area hospital. Protesters jumping on stage during a speech at DePaul. Southwest Airlines passenger was arrested at Midway. Former University of Illinois basketball player dismissed from the team and from Champaign. And the Cubs coast past the Cardinals. A couple of showers and storms in your forecast.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony. It was ugly outside. Hundreds of anti-Trump protesters showed up in Albuquerque. Some threw rocks and bottles. Police responded with smoke grenades, but it was different inside.
Is it fun to be
Mic
at
check,
a Trump
mic check.
rally?
We're off, right?
Trump rallied a big crowd with his America First themes and took a shot at New Mexico's Republican governor.
Since 2000, the number of people on...
No. Okay. 3, 2, and 1. In December 2013, that case was tossed out due to jury misconduct, but the federal government would not rest. Prosecutors filed another indictment regarding voicemails they claim that Kurt Mix deleted. 2 years later, prosecutors dropped all felony charges. Mix agreed to a single misdemeanor charge for deleting text messages. Okay, we're done.
Ministry says a suicide bomber targeted a minibus carrying court employees. The attacker detonated his explosives vest while walking next to the bus, Dave.
Jessica, Air Force One has just landed in Japan after President Obama wrapped up a trip to Vietnam. He'll meet next hour with Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. Friday, he'll make history visiting Hiroshima, site of the first atomic bombing during World War II. There's storm, maybe tornado damage in parts of Kansas and Oklahoma. Homes were hit, power lines taken down, and 2 people were critically injured in Dodge City. And there may be more storms today in Kansas, Oklahoma, and Colorado in those areas. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Some clouds this morning, 78 degrees, and some heavy storms could be on the way for around 7 this evening. 6:02 on AM 560. The Answer. I'm Mike Scott. A search underway to find a suspect. Fired shots at a police car on Chicago's north side. Authorities say officers were driving on Peterson Avenue early this morning when they noticed someone on a bike yelling gang slogans. When they tried to stop him, he fired several shots at their car, then fled the scene. No one was hurt. Parents at a Chicago elementary school where high lead levels were detected in the water at 3 drinking fountains met with city officials last night to try and find out how that issue will be addressed. Parents also questioned why Chicago Public Schools didn't shut down Tanner Elementary. Water fountains where lead levels were detected were immediately deactivated. CPS began testing for lead at 32 schools last month. Secret recordings between Drew Peterson and an inmate he's accused of trying to enlist to help kill a prosecutor show the former suburban Chicago police officer also discussed selling drugs in Mexico if he gets out of prison. The Sun-Times says jurors in the Peterson murder for hire trial in Randolph County listened Tuesday to that conversation with prison informant Antonio Smith. Days after the head of the TSA promised improvements in security wait times at O'Hare and Midway, the airlines say things are getting a little better. AM 560's David Stewart with the story.
The same day the TSA Security Chief Kelly Hogan was fired by Administrator Peter Neffinger, United and American Airlines report that for now, the wait times that had been 2 hours long or longer have been down to about 15 minutes. American Airlines spokeswoman Leslie Scott attributes the improvement to the shift of some screeners from part-time to full-time and to the passengers who have been arriving 2 hours early after being warned about the lines. TSA also reports more people are signing up for their pre-check program. David Stewart, Chicago.
Protesters disrupted a college-sponsored forum that brought a conservative journalist in to speak at DePaul University. Activists jumped on stage yesterday as Milo Yiannopoulos was talking to a crowded student center. The angry outburst caused the event to be canceled. Cubs over St. Louis 12-3. Cleveland beat the White Sox 6-2. And the defending NBA champions on the brink of elimination, Oklahoma City Thunder rolled Golden State in Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals last night, 118-94. The news, a service of Hum by Verizon, the technology designed to make your car smarter, safer, and more connected. It's easy. Just plug Hum in, and you'll get vehicle diagnostics, emergency assistance, and pinpoint roadside help. Get some peace of mind and a smarter, safer, more connected car at hum.com now. 6:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The average Republican voter out there right now is looking for an outsider who will blow the whole damn thing up.
The Joe Walsh Show.
I don't want somebody who comes from Washington. I don't want somebody to get along with Democrats, not this year. I want the whole system blown up. That's why Trump, or that's why Cruz.
The Joe Walsh Show. Weeknights starting at 5, right after Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
This year, that's where Republican voters are at.
It's the Ready to Ride sales event and time to gear up for your ultimate adventure. Enjoy summertime fun on a Can-Am ATV, side-by-side, Can-Am Spyder, or Sea-Doo watercraft. Hurry in by May 31st and save up to $2,500 on select 2015 models. Plus, get great financing. Get ready to ride because the fun starts now. Visit Nielsen Enterprises in Lake Villa. Subject to credit approval. Restrictions may apply. See dealer for details. For safety and training info, contact the ATV Safety Institute.
Not available in all states. Whoa, what do you have there?
It's a Reese and Irvy's frozen yogurt. We just had our robot make one.
A robot made your frozen yogurt?
Yes, the world's first fully interactive robot vending machine that serves 9 flavors of delicious yogurt with 6 amazing toppings. And it's available for an exclusive franchise opportunity.
How do I get my own Reese and Irvy's robots?
It's easy, but you better act now. Locations and machines are going fast. Just go to froyofranchising.com. That's froyofranchising.com. Check it out now, froyofranchising.com.
6:06 in our Guardian Security Services Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On the inbound Ryan Expressway, traffic is really jammed most of the way in now from 95th Street. Looking at a travel time of 35 minutes from 95th to downtown. Overnight work was late in clearing at Roosevelt. Thus the delays, and it's causing backups on the inbound Stevenson, too. It's slow, especially from Ashland to the Ryan. Earlier delays are from 355 to Cass and 1st Avenue to Kedzie, so it's 50 minutes already from 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound fine at 34. Eden still clear. Kennedy, 22 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 21. Eisenhower, 42 minutes. Thorndale to the post office, outbound 30. I-57, 30 minutes. I-80 to the merge, Bishop Ford 21. Eastbound Adams Tollway, heavy Roselle to 53, and Elmhurst Road to the Tri-State. There's a new lane configuration. Traffic, service of Burger King's breakfast right now at Burger King. Get an awesome deal on breakfast. 2 croissant breakfast sandwiches for just $4. Piled high with thick cut bacon or savory sausage, fluffy eggs, and melted cheese. That's 2 croissant for $4. Only at Burger King. Limited time only. Price and participation vary. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the AirComfort.com Weather Center, here's meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today, very warm and more humid with some sun giving way to clouds, couple of afternoon showers, and a heavy thunderstorm. High today 86, then mostly cloudy with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm tonight, low 67. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560. The Answer.
64 at O'Hare. Next news at 6:30, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by attorney John DeWatt, an attorney with heart at thinkingoutsidetheboxlaw.com.
Good morning. Welcome to your Wednesday morning briefing. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
Donald Trump will hear, no matter where he is, that California wants a positive future.
Now, the book Clinton Cash is to Hillary Clinton what the famous Black Book is to the mafia. It's got all the names, all the dollar amounts, all of the figures.
Hello, darling. Sir, please. Do you need some help? Sir, please. Sir, please.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So just that last clip you heard, that's Milo Yiannopoulos from Breitbart, who's doing this college tour, and he was the one who was essentially shouted down and had a bunch of bedwetters at DePaul take over his event and effectively end the event. We've got him on at 8:08. You won't want to miss that because he is a rather
lively fella,
flamboyant character. I was going to say lively fellow works as well. But I want to, for now, switch gears and talk about Bill Clinton. I mean Cosby. I'm sorry. Clinton.
Who's the bigger womanizer, Bill Clinton or Bill Cosby?
Well, I don't think if you're sexually assaulting women, that's womenizing.
That's different.
That's criminally assaulting and molesting women.
Rendering them unconscious. Because the big news yesterday was that Bill Cosby, before you get to Bill Clinton, he has to go to trial on criminal sex assault charges. It could be up to a 10-year prison sentence. And it's for something that happened decades ago with the former Temple University
Not decades
employee,
ago.
Andrea Castani.
Castand. It was 2005 because the statute of limit. The reason he can be prosecuted is the statute of limitations is 12 years.
So in 2005, he invited her over for dinner, and he asked her to take this pill, and she said that she was going in and out of states of consciousness. She woke up, her bra was near her neck, and she was sexually assaulted. So she's one of 55 women that have allegedly been rendered unconscious by Mr. Cosby. And Heidi Thomas, she's one of the 55. She said, everybody felt victorious yesterday because finally he could go to jail.
This is our case.
Hold on. Stand by. Here's Heidi Thomas.
This is our case. I don't get a chance to face him in court for me. So Andrea Constand is doing it for all of us, myself included.
Yeah, and just to be clear, all the other allegations from the other women, they are not going to be part of this trial, right? That's prior bad acts prejudicial.
Well, they're going to try and keep them out. And already Cosby's lawyers are trying to discredit the accuser, Andrea, saying, they're already discrediting her. Yesterday, saying that she's unreliable, that she went over there. She knew what she was doing. She didn't have to take the pill, but she did.
Yeah, but that's actually helpful for the prosecution, because now they know exactly what the defense is going to do. So it's kind of telegraphed. Now, that it comes as no surprise, but it's not like they're going to accentuate the positives of Bill Cosby. I mean, they may do part of that, but it was clear that they're going to go right after the accuser's credibility. And
it is strange. So this happened in 2005, and the statute of limitations is not
12 years. It was up in, according to what I read, we're talking about Pennsylvania law here.
Mm-hmm.
According to what I read, the statute would have expired in January. So they were on the clock. Constand, who is living in Toronto, she first reported Cosby to police in January of 2005. So that would give you to January of 2017. So that's why this is in, because a lot of people have asked. You've got all these women who've made accusations, and the statute is run on all of their accusations. How does this woman get in? Well, that's how. So that's Bill Cosby, and we'll look forward to his conviction. That will be just deserved.
The judge set a trial date for July 20th, and he turned to Bill Cosby. He's like, "Good luck," and then he walked.
Well,
see you later. Good luck with that.
So staying on topic.
Yeah, with bills who are misbehaving.
Bill Clinton.
Hey-o. Who's the bigger hoe?
Dick Morris. Well, I mean, it's more than being a hoe in your parlance, your street vernacular. It's being a predator.
Right, but you claim that Bill Clinton is a predator, a sexual monster.
I don't claim that. Paula Jones and Kathleen Willey and Juanita Broderick and others have claimed that. I don't claim that.
But Paula Jones, what bothers me about her is if you Wikipedia her, it says Paula Jones, celebrity.
Well,
she has.
Well, that's her fault?
Well, going on reality TV shows and becoming a celebrity after being sexually molested, it's hard for other victims, I think, to come forward.
Are you part of the Bill Cosby defense team? Because that's essentially the argument they're going to make against Andrea Constand, what she did after the alleged assault.
But she's not on Dancing with the Stars, or she's not on.
Yeah, the issue is not what show
reality
she's on.
TV
The
show,
issue is calling into question what the person did after the assault, to say because they behaved in a way I wouldn't have behaved, or in a way I don't think is appropriate, then I don't find them credible.
Well, the other two women, that Kathleen Willey and Juanita Broderick,
right?
They haven't appeared on any reality TV shows.
I understand. People make different choices. I agree.
Okay. All right.
So I'm just,
fine.
You don't want to
play that your reindeer games?
I mean, look, if you want to be a Bill Cosby character witness in his trial.
No. I mean, the problem with Bill Cosby and with Bill Clinton, they wanted what they wanted when they wanted it, and they couldn't control themselves. And that separates human beings from animals, and they acted animalistic. So I was reading more into Bill Clinton's allegations, and he is a sick individual. And now I know why Michelle Obama, when Barack said, how about having Hillary Clinton be my vice president? And she said, I'm not having him in the White House because she has children and she doesn't want him around their kids.
Wow.
Well, excuse me.
Wow. That's a statement.
Well,
she also wasn't a big fan of Hillary, by the way, Michelle Obama.
True, but she said specifically to him, you want Bill Clinton hanging out in the White House? Because I don't.
Well, Dick Morris, the Rex Ryan of politics. Love Dick Morris. Who loves Dick Morris? That guy's the definition of sleaze.
He was very nice to me. We did an event once, and he was he helped out a family in need because I had told him a story, and he wrote them a check, and probably shouldn't be telling them.
He doesn't enter a room; he slithers into it.
He doesn't slither into it. Go stop it.
You know, remember the foot fetish with the prostitute?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
but I cared to put. People, you know,
I understand.
Different, Dan. People handle things differently.
Indeed, they do.
People have different foot fetishes.
Indeed, they look. I know Dick Morris, Rex Ryan. I don't know. I'm sure there are others. But
Marv Albert.
Dick Morris gave a little bit of he was obviously in the Clinton White House.
Yes,
to help to kind of, I guess, turn Bill Clinton's presidency around in terms of public approval. Kind of pivoted him to the center a little bit. Issues like welfare reform, and. Dick Morris has a bit of a psychoanalysis on the Clintons, and also it's just a description of the dynamic between the two, such that he witnessed when he was their counselor, if you believe him, and I do. He describes how Trump's going after Bill Clinton and Hillary as an enabler by extension just completely paralyzes them. It's really interesting, his analysis, Dick Morris's.
It is, I've been there. It is the way to absolutely mess with Hillary's mind. When Trump throws that accusation, it disrupts the marriage of the two of them. And Hillary gets furious, and Bill gets scared. And Hillary goes through periods where she's not talking to Bill. Sometimes hours, sometimes days, sometimes weeks. At one point during their presidency, they didn't talk for 3 months. And the point is that her major source of advice and leadership and guidance is Bill Clinton. It's an aorta that flows between them. And without him, she's got nothing. And the reason she reacts so viscerally to these charges is not some sense of feminist outrage. It's that her entire career is based on Bill Clinton and her marriage. She wouldn't have been at the law firm if he were an attorney general. She wouldn't have made partner if he weren't governor. She wouldn't have gotten health care if she hadn't defended him from Jennifer Flowers. And she wouldn't have been a senator if she hadn't defended him from Monica Lewinsky. Everything she's ever done is derivative of Bill. And if the marriage is a phony, then everything she's done is a phony.
That is
well put, and that's from a political insider who witnessed it. I love. They didn't talk for sometimes up to 3 months.
That is about as succinct a 1-minute explanation of Clinton Inc. as you're going to get. I think that is pretty powerful. It strikes me as right on target. 312-642-5600 turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA turnkey.pro text line. Your thoughts on what Dick Morris had to say in terms of analyzing the Clintons?
Just the text line's still down.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. We're working on that.
You can text there. We'll just ignore it.
Texters, our regular texters should call us, 312-642-5600. Why won't they call?
Most people are not crossover artists. They cannot call and text. They choose one channel of communication. I've never actually heard the Amish texter's voice.
Oh, I have.
I think he exists like a Max Headroom, but just in the text verse. See, these are not, a lot of our texters are not real people.
Really?
They're cyberspace bots. I don't know how to break it to you. I just thought you should know.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Weather, it's going to get a little dicey around here. Some high clouds right now. It's humid out. It's warm out. 73 degrees, going up to a high today of 86, but we can't rule out a heavy afternoon thunderstorm. And then tonight, showers and thunderstorms in spots. God bless you. And tomorrow, very warm and humid with clouds and some sun, a high of 84. Any trouble on the roadways? Here's Jim Telemonte.
Yes, Amy and Dan, good morning. It's very heavy on the inbound Ryan and the Stevenson. Some overnight work on the Ryan at Roosevelt was late in clearing, so it's stop and go all the way in. It's 35 minutes, 95th to downtown, and that backed things up going from the Stevenson to the Ryan. We're looking at an hour from 355 to Lakeshore Drive, 45 minutes from the Tri-State. That ramp to the inbound Ryan is jammed. The outbound Stevenson is good for now. Eden's inbound, a little heavy approaching the junction. It's clear outbound. The Kennedy looking at 23 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 22. The Eisenhower, 46 minutes. Thorndale to the post office, outbound 31. I-57 is 32 minutes. I-80 to the merge, Bishop Ford 25. Eastbound Reagan Tollway has delays from 83 to the Eisenhower. The Adams Tollway is bottled up as well. Busty to the Tri-State where there's a new lane configuration. I'm Jim Talamonte of the Guardian Security Services Traffic Center.
Trust is the single most important factor in hiring a contractor. Dependable Construction and its founder, Joe Baran, built their business over 3 decades by being trustworthy. Tuck pointing, brick, and roofing are Joe's specialties. Joe started as a laborer and progressed to an expert tuck pointer and bricklayer. In addition to masonry and roofing, Joe and Dependable Construction have grown to become a full-service Angie's List and Better Business Bureau award-winning contractor. For brick and masonry for brick, masonry, and roofing on residential, commercial, or industrial projects to any other type of remodeling or construction, you'll deal directly with owner Joe Baran. Call Joe Baran at Dependable Construction and AM560 Feed the Children business benefactor. Mention AM560 and receive a 10% discount on most jobs. Call 773-244-1091. That's 773-244-1091 or visit the website tuckpointchicago.net. The number again, 773-244-1091.
Did you know that if you have mutual funds in your IRA, 401k, or investment accounts, that according to Forbes magazine, you could be paying as much as 3.17% in hidden fees every single year? 3.17% may not sound like much, but over 10 years, it's costing you 32%, whether your fund is up or down. Hi, it's Tom Fortino of the Alpha Wealth Group in Chicago and host of the Alpha Wealth Hour on AM 560. This is just one of the reasons I hate mutual funds, and you should too. You may not know this, but you have far more investment options today without the excessive fees. Learn what they are in my free report, The Truth Behind Mutual Funds. What you learn may shock you. To get your free report, The Truth Behind Mutual Funds, call 630-519-4742. There's no obligation. That's 630-519-4742.
Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Wealth Advisors, Inc.
The Greater Chicago Jewish Festival is taking place on Sunday, June 5th at the Cook County Forest Preserve on Oakton, just west of Lehigh. It'll feature 3 stages of continuous music, an art fair, and a kosher food fair. Everyone is welcome at the festival, and admission is just a suggested $5 donation. For more information, visit jewishfestival.org. That's jewishfestival.org.
Health Quest Radio with your host, Dr. David Kolbaba, is the longest-running health and science show in Chicago. And there's a good reason for this. It is Dr. Kolbaba's driving passion and concern for people just like you. Dr. Kolbaba believes that it's choice, not chance, that can get you back to higher health and longevity. By the way, when was the last time you really felt healthy? Question: if you were given one last chance to achieve the highest level of health possible, regardless of your past, would you take it? Here at Health Quest, we're all about second chances. So, if you've been victimized by the choices you've made in the past, make a new choice, a better choice today. Call our Health Quest radio hotline to reserve your new patient strategy session with Dr. Kolbaba. Imagine what it would be like to feel more vital, healthy, and strong. One last chance to set a new strategy in motion in your new patient strategy session. Call our Health Quest radio hotline at 1-800-794-1855. That's 800-794-1855.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy talking about Clinton Inc. and Dick Morris's analysis of Bill and Hillary, or Billary, as they were once upon a time called. By the way, Chelsea, she's selling her home.
Oh, my gosh, for how much?
Price to sell. Chelsea and her husband. So between the two of them, I don't really know what Chelsea does. I know she works for the Clinton Foundation. I hear that pays handsomely.
Well, she worked for NBC Nightly News.
Oh, yeah.
For a while. And
she did 4 stories, made like $600,000.
600,000, yeah.
Yeah, but they were good.
They
were good stories.
Dying inside. She tracked like this. Today, the people are going outside. There's no nothing in her voice.
The
There's no
4
there
stories she did were worth at least $150,000 a piece.
That's what, came down to. People that worked there were so upset. Let's just say that.
She's a Clinton. That's who they like. What are they upset about? They're Clinton fans. What's the problem?
Well, some producers who work 80 hours a week were making a fourth of that.
Of course.
It didn't sit well with the staff.
They're not a Clinton.
Right.
They don't get to make that kind of money.
Yeah, they weren't born into it.
Chelsea and her husband, that Mezvinsky guy, he's the guy who just lost 90% of his investor money from his hedge fund. By making a bad bet that Greece was going to right the ship. Holy cow. They're selling their place in Manhattan for $6 million.
What?
$6 million.
Okay.
But that gets you 2,000 square feet, which sounds like a pretty good deal. So I don't know if you ever wanted to upgrade from Lakeview, Amy.
Yeah, right.
Or maybe have a vacation condo in Manhattan.
Oh, exactly.
People of your stature, media celebrity types, you need someplace on the East Coast,
right.
the Hamptons or a Tony condo downtown that's $6 million. I'm sure that you can probably get them down to 5.8.
Yeah, right.
The Amish texter allegedly is on line 1. Amish texter, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yes, you rang. I was busy making really excellent heater manuals and also working on furniture cream. What's going on?
All right, that's consistent with the Amish texter. Although, what about using are you using a cell phone?
Yes, I am. Yes, actually, it's a brick phone that one of my English friends adapted for texting. It was a little hard getting parts, but doing the best we can.
No, the brick. Sure, I remember. Are you calling us from Lancaster, Pennsylvania?
No, actually, I moved. If you remember, way back to Hate Radio. No, I'm out in Huntley, mowing the lawn out there, and
with the horse.
Right. Yeah,
You've seen his horse.
Not with not anything that's gas powered anyway. I hope.
No. Of course not. Actually, if you go to I think my Twitter page or my Facebook page, I think there's a picture of me out there mowing it with the horses.
Wait a second.
Doing my part to save the environment.
Wait a second. I think we just had to tell that you're a fraud, Amish texter. A Twitter and Facebook page. An Amish
How
texter
Amish is that?
On social media. I guess your name is the Amish texter.
I'm a contrarian, okay? I'm a little bit, different along those lines.
And how are you treated out in Huntley? Because that's a bit of a ways from Arcola, where your ancestral home is, I presume.
Oh, but Huntley's actually very welcoming. Huntley is a wonderful little place. I am your one voter from out in Huntley.
My one voter from Huntley. I'm glad you're participating in the election. And that brings us to this important question.
Yes, please
There's
ask
only
it.
one candidate that is trying to round up the Amish through a super PAC. That candidate is Donald Trump. So the question, Amish texter, is, on the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November, for whom will you vote for President of the United States?
Yes, I will be voting for Trump. Anyone but Hillary, anyone but the Clinton crime family. I definitely cannot see another term for Obama, so I'm joining my sister, my brethren there, Amy Jacobson, and I will be voting for a Trump train. But actually, my Trump train's being pulled by a team of draft horses.
There you go. Of course it is. Amish texter, thank you for calling in rather than just texting, and we look forward to seeing you featured in the Amish PAC Super PAC ads this fall. Thanks for calling.
Hey, the show's really working well tonight. It's going like an Amish computer.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM 560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Ah, Chicago. There's so much to do and enjoy. But when was the last time you explored the city? It's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day grind of commuting and working, but not experiencing everything that Chicago has to offer. It's time to take a new adventure this summer.
I represented Wall Street as a senator from New York, and I went to Wall Street.
In the heart of the city.
Now, who's exactly
to
blame for the housing crisis? And I think there's plenty of blame to go around. Home buyers who paid extra
fees. You'll enjoy
fees.
bright, spacious rooms, innovative, upscale French cuisine, panoramic rooftop dining, all just minutes from Millennium Park and the Mag Mile. Create your adventure during the Hyatt Centric Summer Promotion, featuring special rates for your weekend getaway. Now through May 31st, your Thursday through Sunday reservation receives up to a 15% room rate discount. That's 15% on the weekends. Reserve today at theloopchicago.centric.hyatt.com. theloopchicago.centric.hyatt.com. Rooms are fully prepaid and non-refundable at the time of booking, based on availability.
AM 560, The Answer.
Oh, yeah. Dangerous Minds. Don't ask me who sings the song.
Yeah.
I got money in my mind, pocket in my head.
This is
Gangster's Paradise.
Yeah, probably the Weird Al knockoff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Amish.
Living in the Amish paradise. All right, coming up on
Weird Al calling and he asked you to stop singing his songs.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
The president of a local chapter in Chicago for the American Muslim Youth Association joins us at 6:36.
In shocking new and real information about the Drew Peterson murder for hire trial. But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. We have sunshine right now, but storms on the way for later in the afternoon and early evening. The head of the TSA on the hot seat this morning as lawmakers on Capitol Hill will grill him about those increasingly long airport security lines. Presumptive Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump firing back at demonstrators who tried to interrupt his rally last night in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And outside the Albuquerque Convention Center, things were more violent. Protesters throwing burning T-shirts and other items at police, who responded with pepper spray and smoke grenades. Meantime, Hillary Clinton in California keeping up the pressure on Donald Trump while trying to fight back Bernie Sanders.
Everybody else has had to turn over their tax returns. Who has been the nominee of a party running for president? So we're going to keep asking. Let's see what you got there.
Campaigning in Southern California, Clinton again chided Trump for his company's bankruptcies. Forecasters say severe storms that swept across the plains are likely to continue today after critically injuring 2 and damaging homes a day earlier. National Weather Service lead forecaster Bill Turner.
At many homes, we're still accumulating damage reports, trying to determine how bad it is. We do have reports of houses and farmsteads being destroyed, wiped out, down to the foundations at times, just west of Dodge City.
Tornadoes reported in several Kansas counties and in Colorado. A search underway this morning to find a suspect who fired gunshots at a police car on the north side of the city of Chicago. A lawyer would have to be present when police question juveniles younger than 15 in murder or sex offense investigations under a measure Illinois lawmakers are considering in Springfield. And remember that long-term lease deal Mayor Daley cut with investors over its parking meters in the city of Chicago? Also parking garages as well during the Daley administration. Well, apparently they're very profitable for investors. Sun-Times reports meters generated $121 million last year. The garages took in about $35 million. That money went to investors, not the city. At the current rates, the parking meters will recoup about $1.15 billion initially paid to the city by 2020. Cubs over St. Louis 12-3. Cleveland over the White Sox 6-2. The news, a service of Hum by Verizon. Hum by Verizon is the technology designed to make your car smarter, safer, and more connected. It's easy. Just plug it in and you'll get vehicle diagnostics, emergency assistance, and pinpoint roadside help. Get some peace of mind and a smarter, safer, and more connected car. Visit hum.com now. 6:34, and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The Republican Party faces an existential crisis.
What is it that we need to do to unify the Republican Party and all strains of conservative wings in the party?
As the shadow of Trump looms large over the party.
I don't think I'm a divisive person. I'm a unifier.
Meanwhile, you're just wondering who the heck to vote for this fall. And we're here to help.
Everything that comes out of their mouth is a lie to benefit themselves and their people.
The latest news, opinion, and insight only on your election station, AM 560. The Answer.
Change in the market shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. In fact, since World War II, we've seen a correction on average about once every 18 months. That's why Arlington Capital Management developed proprietary tools that help them to see what's beyond your investment horizon. Like an experienced ship captain uses tools to avoid stormy weather, Arlington Capital Management uses tools to guide you through market corrections before it's too late and help us decide when to capitalize on opportunity. Call Arlington Capital Management today at 855-471-5796 to learn how their active management systems can help you. Each day, they actively explore the market, our economy, and all the variables that affect your investments. Stormy markets never cloud their vision. The professionals at Arlington Capital Management use their tools and experience to guide them. Call Arlington Capital Management today at 855-471-5796 for a financial review. The number again is 855-471-5796 or learn more at arlington-capital.com.
LiveWatch helps you connect and respond up to 10 times faster in an emergency. LiveWatch has no long-term contracts. Save up to 50% off home security. Call 855-LiveWatch or visit livewatch.com.
Right now at Feldco, get 2 windows for the price of 1. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
Are you a responsible person who finds yourself growing deeper in credit card debt? Then get ready for a toll-free number that will put you on a path to financial recovery. Trinity Debt Management will consolidate your accounts and work with your creditors. You'll save thousands and become debt-free for keeps. If your debt has you down, we should talk. Call Trinity at 1-800-758-5360. 1-800-758-5360. 1-800-758-5360.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas. Great coffee. Period.
Listen to AM 560 on your mobile device. Now available on iHeartRadio. Online at iHeartRadio.com.
It is 6:37. Let's get an update on the roads. Guardian Security Services Traffic Center time. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The inbound Edens runs 22 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 19. The Kennedy, 30 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 35. The Eisenhower, it's 1 hour from Thorndale to downtown, 42 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 37 to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 10 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound, it's 36 minutes. The Ryan, 35 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 32 minutes, I-80 to the Murray, 425. Northbound Tri-States, though, 95th to 31st and jammed from Reagan Silway to Grand Avenue. Traffic service of Burger King's breakfast. Right now at Burger King, get an awesome deal on breakfast. 2 Chris Sandwich breakfast sandwiches for just $4. Piled high with thick-cut bacon or savory sausage, fluffy eggs, and melted cheese. That's 2 Chris Sandwich for $4. Only at Burger King. Limited time only. Price and participation vary. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte. AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. 80 years of quality mechanical solutions for your business. Showers and thunderstorms arrive late in the day, probably after 5, more than likely for much of the area after 7 tonight, but we'll keep our eyes on that. High 86. A low of 67 overnight with more storms on the way. Sunny and 66 right now. Next news at 7. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Ed Lukasik Jr. of RE/MAX Professionals. Get more money for your home by listing with a real marketing expert.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues now. And make sure to stay tuned to catch me, Mike Gallagher, coming up at 9, only on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. And so, these are challenging times for peaceful pluralist Muslims in the context of the Syrian refugee matter. And we'll be talking about that a little bit later in the show. But Syrian refugees and vetting who's coming into this country is certainly an issue. It's an issue in the presidential campaign. It's an issue that people are concerned about. We still have men and women in our military in harm's way trying to combat radical Islamic terrorists in the Middle East and North Africa and elsewhere. And we want to give try and generate a textured understanding of the Muslim community, particularly in this country, as it differs from the diaspora, other parts of the diaspora elsewhere. And so to help us do that, we're now joined by, I hope I get this pronunciation right, Iftikhar Ahmad. Iftikhar Ahmad. Is that right? Is that close?
That's correct.
Iftikhar Ahmad, not bad.
You nailed it, Dan.
He's the president of the Chicago chapter of the AMYA, which is, here we go again, Ahmadiyya Muslim Youth Association. Is that right? Ahmadiyya Muslim Youth Association. Sorry about that. Thank you.
No, it's okay.
What's happening this weekend is a national retreat. Muslim youth are going to gather at Yosemite, is that right? Oh, no, it's Yosemite. I'm just figuring I'll keep mispronouncing things now that I started.
You're on a roll. Keep going.
Muslim youth gathering at Yosemite in California to strengthen faith and relationships, and they're sending a contingent of Muslim young men and I assume women to this retreat in California. And we're happy to be joined by Iftikhar Ahmad to help us understand. This is men only, or is this men and women? I'm sorry.
It's Amity Muslim Youth, so it's a male youth.
Male youth. Okay, and so just kind of give us a sense of the Chicago contingent and the what you hope to accomplish and what the program is going to be in California this weekend.
Sure. Well, first I want to thank you both, Dan and Amy, for having me on. I really appreciate the opportunity. And just a little bit of real quick background: the Ahmadiyya Muslim Youth Association. We are an auxiliary of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, which is a revivalist or reformist movement within Islam, which was founded in the late 1800s by Mirza Ghulam Ahmad in Qadian, India. And the purpose or the reasoning for this movement was to basically unite mankind to revive true Islam and to spread truth. And as part of that, the Youth Association, has different roles that we carry, including, service to humanity, spiritual moral training, awareness of Islam, interfaith dialogue, things like that. And as part of that, to kind of strengthen our goals for the year continuing, we have a national retreat. And this happens every year, and it's been happening every year for, over 60 years now. And, the main purpose is to basically, come together and kind of go over, what our goals are for the year, obviously, but also to, give ourselves a kind of a reset, for lack of a better term. And it's not just, spiritual. There's obviously a big spiritual aspect to it. There's a educational aspect to it. And there's a physical fitness or sports aspect to it, too, and, brotherhood and team building and things of that nature. And, overall what happens is that people, come together from across the United States, and they're able to basically talk to one another, share their experiences, learn from one another, with the goals of being able to take that knowledge back to their communities and to be able to, execute any plans that we have in terms of, outreach or just educating not just ourselves, but obviously for the public. Because as you all know, there's a lot going on with Islam in the press these days, most of it negative. And we kind of see it as our responsibility to clarify a lot of misconceptions.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you, too. Do you, in between hiking and doing other outdoor activities, do you talk about those that are radicalized, and do you teach the young Muslim men, hey, if you see something, say something, that it's okay if you recognize those who want to terrorize Americans or kill Americans?
Absolutely. I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions, I guess, of what we think is what the true message of Islam is that, Islam rejects terrorism in all forms. And it's very clear. So, we always like to tell people that, those who propagate terrorism as a means of, this is what the religion says, they're just serving their own needs. That's not really what the true message is.
So that's one misperception,
sure.
in your opinion. What other misperceptions about Islam, or maybe even more particularly Muslim youth? I mean, when you have these conversations, even with members of your chapter here in Chicago, what is it you think you're having the most difficult time combating, perception-wise?
Well, I think that the terrorism obviously is a big one. I think the whole, definition or the whole thing of jihad, for instance, gets a lot of press. And, when you look at what the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, their view on jihad is, it is a nonviolent thing. And our founder coined the term, jihad of the pen, meaning that we combat misconceptions or things like that with writing. We write articles, we write letters to the editor, we write editorials and op-eds to give people what our view is. Other things to keep in mind are, freedom of speech. That's something that's obviously an important thing for us. Loyalty to your country. And a lot of these points I'm actually going over come from a campaign that we launched in December, the Yemeni Muslim community, called True Islam. And there's 11 specific points, and you can see these on trueislam.com. And there's 11 specific points on here that, it's very general to tell basically the whole public that this is what really Islam shows, and it's rejecting terrorism, it's about equality of women, it's about separation of mosque and state, deals with loyalty to your country, universal human rights, things like that, things that we feel like a lot of people will agree with. And they're kind of basic things that I think all of us would agree upon.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think it's fair, the criticism of the Muslim community sometimes that why don't we hear voices like yours more often? Why don't they receive more profile? Why are there not more Iftikhar Ahmads responding when there is a terrorist attack?
I think it depends on, if that's what you're looking for, you'll find it. So, the truth be told, we've heard this, countless amount of times. And, the fact of the matter is that the Yemeni Muslim community, the Yemeni Muslim Youth Association, has been at the forefront of, basically clarifying misconceptions of Islam. And if you look at, every, terrorist attack that's happened, there's a press release sent from us. There's articles that we write. And again, if you're looking for it, you will find it.
Well, why don't you come together as a mass and march in Washington, D.C. or something, just to denounce the terrorists, say what happened in San Bernardino?
Sure. Well, I think things of that nature have been discussed, and obviously, the more people you can get together in one place, the better. We've done a lot of community outreach on a local level at our different chapters. And speaking of San Bernardino, our mosque is located in Chino. It's actually the largest mosque in San Bernardino County. And after the attacks occurred, there was a very kind of a big rally or a prayer vigil at that mosque, and a lot of the dignitaries from the local area, even the sheriff of San Bernardino County, had come, and he was actually one of the first people to support this True Islam campaign. And so things of that nature are being done. But again, the moderate Muslim, people keep asking us for them. And my response to them is we are them. And we are happy to, talk with anyone who wants to have a dialogue. And we continue to propagate the true points of Islam.
And we are happy to speak with you. He is Iftikhar Ahmad, president of the Chicago chapter of Ahmadiyya Muslim Youth Association, right? Did I get it?
Correct.
Ahmadiyya Muslim Youth Association. And good luck with the retreat that you have this weekend, starting on Saturday, 4-day retreat of Muslim youth from across America that's happening in California. Iftikhar, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up next, what's really going on with the Drew Peterson murder for hire trial.
Peterson truther.
But first, here's your forecast. No, I'm not a truther. I'll just tell you the truth. Here's the forecast. Today, we're going to have a couple of showers, some heavy thunderstorms by this afternoon, a high of 86 degrees. Tonight, a couple of showers and thunderstorms. And tomorrow, very warm, humid with partly sunny skies, a high of 84 degrees. Anything pleasant on the roadways? Here's Jim Telemonte to tell us the truth.
It's pretty stormy. Amy and Dan on the inbound Eisenhower. It's an hour and 10 minutes already. Thorndale to downtown, 55 minutes from Manheim, and outbound 37 to Thorndale on the Stevenson. With delays starting at 1:26, it is an hour and 20 minutes. 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, an hour from the Tri-State. Outbound 45 minutes now to 3:55. Eden's 27 minutes. Lake Cook to the Junction. Outbound 25. The Kennedy 30 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 35 minutes. The Ryan slow all the way in, 35 minutes. 95th to downtown, I-57, 35 minutes. I-80 to the merge, Mission Ford 25. Northbound Tri-State slow 95th to 31st. And from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue curve, eastbound Adams Tollway jammed. Bussy to the River Road Toll with a new lane configuration. And the Reagan Tollway has delays from York Road to the Tri-State. Jim Talamonte in the Guardian Security Services Traffic Center.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Republicans want the head of the IRS impeached. French authorities raiding Google offices in Paris. Airlines look to push airfares higher. Those stories next.
Hey, Bill Bennett here to tell you about Augusta Precious Metals. What if you could store your IRA or your 401k where you can see, touch, and hold it in person in the form of physical gold and silver coins? I know I would, and you can't do that with stocks. But with the Augusta Gold and Silver IRA, you can transfer retirement savings into physical coins and store them where you can see them anytime. Free shipping, zero management fees, and Augusta pays all upfront costs. Getting started is absolutely free. Rated A+ with the Better Business Bureau, enjoys a 98% 5-star satisfaction rating with TrustLink.org. You can trust Augusta. Call toll-free 1-855-222-6993 now for your free guide to Augusta Gold IRAs. Call toll-free 1-855-222-6993. That's 1-855-222-6993. Or visit AugustaPreciousMetals.com.
The GOP chairman of the House Judiciary Committee says IRS Chief John Koskinen should be impeached. Congressman Jason Chaffetz accusing Koskinen of misleading lawmakers and allowing damaging evidence to be destroyed. French police raided Google's Paris office, part of an investigation into aggravated tax fraud and money laundering. The raid, the latest regulatory headache for Google, facing increasing questions about its complex tax arrangements. Airfares dropping for more than a year now, adjusting for inflation. The average domestic flight last year at its lowest cost since 2010. But major airlines announcing steps to raise prices. Please tune in to Lou Dobbs tonight at 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
We're so excited about our sold-out golf outing at the Bolingbrook Golf Club coming up on Thursday, June 16th to benefit Operation Support Our Troops America.
If you weren't able to get in this year, don't worry. You can still reserve a tee time at the Bolingbrook Golf Club anytime this spring or summer by visiting BolingbrookGolfClub.com.
And thanks to the sponsors who are making our golf outing possible.
Remax Professionals, Charity Golf International, Dr. Amy and Associates, MJ Miller and Company Jewelers in Barrington, Augustino's Rock and Roll Deli, and Pearl Mortgage.
Here's some great news. Jack Tabota of Tabota & Associates can help you with your retirement game plan. You know Jack, or you should. Jack is the president and founder of Tabota & Associates. He's been helping folks just like you retire successfully for 3 decades. Jack has the insight, information, strategies, and experience you can use to build wealth and keep it. Live good. Retire well with Jack Tabota of Tabota & Associates. 630-777-7955. 630-777-7955.
I have migraines, and that's actually another thing I've noticed with the Balance of Nature is my migraines, my headaches are a lot better than they ever were. Yeah, like because I would get them bad where I would throw up. I mean, I was sick with migraines, and I've noticed I don't want to speak too soon and jinx myself, but no, I have not had one near and if I do, they're very mild and I can get them to go away very quickly, but I have not had a massive migraine since I've been taking. And that's one thing I really, really like about it, yes.
Make the change today. No more synthetics, no more extracts. Today is your chance to get it right. Accept and complete Dr. Howard's 120-day health challenge to earn a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
You want more than just the headlines? Find out what's going on and what it means with me, Dennis Prager, this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
So big news coming out of the Drew Peterson murder for hire trial. You know, on Monday, Antonio Smith, who's a prison guy turned FBI informant, he came out and said, Drew Peterson told me that he killed Stacey Peterson. And everyone like, oh. Well, yesterday, the tapes were played. Some of the tapes were played in court. They're going to play the rest of them today. And that's not what happened. You can hear Drew Peterson on tape. And Antonio Smith says, so you killed Stacey? And he says, no. She ran off. Stacey's out in the world. Then he started laughing. But it's not what you
I
think
wonder what
it
that
is.
laugh meant.
Yeah, that's the thing. So they played a lot of the tapes, and a lot of it was long on gossip and short on a murder for hire plot. I mean, it was almost 6 hours of tape that was played, and it was recordings that were taken in November of 2014 in the cafeteria and in the prison yard. You know Yard. You familiar with Yard?
Mm-hmm.
And
I saw The Longest Yard.
So here's the, this is it. The words kill or murder were never heard.
I saw Shawshank.
And here's the things. Peterson. So
I saw
how
the
long?
Birdman of Alcatraz.
So Antonio Smith's uncle is supposedly the hitman. Peterson. So how long before your uncle can take care of business? Smith. It will be done by Christmas if you say, Peterson, it'd be a nice Christmas present. Smith. If you say it's a green light, and then Peterson said go. Now the Randolph County. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so is that proof enough that you don't hear kill or murder, you just hear...
So you have to use the magic words?
I don't know. Jeremy Walker, Randolph County prosecutor, thinks this is pretty solid evidence.
It appears to me that his testimony and the recordings are jiving what we said was what was going to happen in the opening statement. I don't understand what other conclusion you would come to other than he wanted James Glasgow dead.
I don't understand what other conclusion you would come to either. I vote guilty.
Play all the tapes. Play all the tapes.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You've switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
You don't need a real estate agent with gimmicks. You need the selling power that only Ed Lukasik Jr. can give you.
I'm Ed Lukasik Jr., owner of RE/MAX Professionals. I know how to maximize the sale of your home.
Ed is listed in the top 30 RE/MAX agents nationwide.
When I list a home for you, I only represent you, not the buyer. I am fighting for your highest home value.
Ed Lukasik Jr., the #1 RE/MAX agent in Illinois for most closed listings.
I use the latest online and mobile technologies to market your home and drive buyer activity to my listings. That equals maximum exposure for my sellers.
Ed closed 260 homes last year. That's a home sold every 1.5 days.
I am an agent that has your best interests at heart. It's not about a quick sale. It's about negotiating to maximize every dollar so you get the highest value for your home.
Call Ed Lukasik Jr. of RE/MAX Professionals, 630-679-5454. 630-679-5454. Sell your house with the professionals. RE/MAX Professionals.
There's no better way to promote your business than real people, actual living, breathing bodies, human billboards, you might call them, promoting your company, organization, or athletic team. And we're not talking about the old sign hanging around their neck trick. We're talking about T-shirts, hats, and jackets that everyone will see on the street, at sporting events, in the grocery store, everywhere. The impact can be powerful, but to do it right, you need to work with someone who can handle all the specifics and deliver high quality. That's Sam Gilberto, president of American Embroidery and Screen Printing, a proud local conservative company that will help you find and envision the perfect item for your message or logo. They can screen print or embroider just about anything. And right now, until the end of the month, get big savings. American Embroidery and Screen Printing will do professional artwork and set up for your project for free. Call and talk to Sam at American Embroidery and Screen Printing. Call 630-766-2825. 630-766-2825.
Hey, I want to tell you about my friends at Guardian Security Services. Because here's the deal. If you're unhappy with your door staff or on-site security officers at your business or property, or you're just not receiving the services you were promised, there's no reason to tolerate it. Call my friends right now at Guardian Security Services to discuss your security officer needs. These guys are amazing. They've been Chicago's best for 41 years. They only assign the most professional, highly trained security officers in all of Chicagoland. Their vetting practices are exceptional. If you're finally ready to explore an alternative to your current security officer provider, then doggone it, do it. Pick up the phone right now and schedule a free security assessment with my friends at Guardian Security Services. Tell them me, Joe Walsh, sent you. Right now, call 708-385-3300. Again, 708-385-3300 or online at GuardianSecurityInc.com.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, should U.S. scholarships be given for Syrian refugees?
And the Illinois General Assembly doesn't have a state budget, but they have all kinds of new educational benefits for people here illegally at 7:07.
But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
Tornadoes tear across the nation's midsection, and protesters disrupt a Donald Trump rally last night. Fox with the latest on those developing stories this morning. Chicago Public Schools are answering questions after lead is discovered at one school. Kendrick Nunn dismissed from the Illinois basketball team, and there is a gas emergency this morning in the state of Michigan. Cubs coast past the Cardinals last night. WIND Chicago News Time, 7 o'clock.
Fox News Radio, I'm Dave Anthony. Score another victory for Donald Trump. He takes Washington State's primary, now just 41 delegates shy of clinching the Republican nomination.
I love to win. We're going to win for the country. Forget about me. We're winning for our country. We need it.
That was Trump at a rally in Albuquerque where he said Republican Governor Susana Martinez needs to do a better job for New Mexico. She has yet to endorse Trump. Now outside, hundreds of anti-Trump protesters demonstrated and got rowdy.
The crowd eventually broke through what was a relatively flimsy police line and got onto the grounds of the convention center. They did not break through the doors, although they did at one point try very hard to do exactly that. The crowd then began throwing rocks and bottles.
Fox's Jonathan Hunt got hit by one of those rocks. Police fired smoke grenades. Some officers were injured. At least one protester arrested. At least two people are in a hospital in Dodge City, Kansas, critically injured when storms and tornadoes hit there, and in Oklahoma, where there's also damage.
We do have the risk for additional severe weather across places like Texas, Oklahoma, and even extending farther north, as far north as Minnesota and the Dakotas.
Fox meteorologist Maria Molina. The job market's improved over the years, but a new study says people married to someone in the military keep struggling to find work. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, a new report finds frequent moves and erratic schedules compel military spouses to work for less pay and below their education level if they can find work at all. The study conducted by Blue Star Families says more than 40% of military spouses are unemployed, compared to around 25% of comparable spouses in the civilian population. The report also finds military spouse unemployment is not only hurting families, but the national economy, costing around $70 billion a year. Dave.
Rachel, a lot of millennials don't want to leave home. A new Pew Research report shows 1 in 3 adults age 18 to 34 live with their parents. That's more than those who live with a spouse, a roommate, or live alone. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Sunshine in Chicago, 66 degrees. 7:02 is our time. On AM 560, The Answer. Good morning, everyone. I'm Mike Scott. A man dead crashing an ATV on Chicago's southwest side. Police say he was not wearing a helmet when the four-wheeler he was riding slammed into a vehicle near 62nd and Austin. Search is underway to find a suspect who fired gunshots at a police car on the north side of Chicago. Officers riding on Peterson Avenue early this morning noticed someone on a bike yelling gang slogans. They tried to stop him, but then he fired several shots at their vehicle and fled the scene. Parents at a Chicago elementary school where high lead levels were detected in water from 3 fountains met with city officials to find out how the issue will be addressed. Parents of Tanner Elementary were told Tuesday their children can now elect to have their blood tested at school next week. A government informant apparently tricked Drew Peterson into thinking a hitman was going to kill the man who put him behind bars. We get the latest on this development from AM 560's David Stewart.
The jury heard Peterson say, quote, "I'm in," on a recording secretly made by jailhouse informant Antonio Smith after Smith pretended to make a phone call setting up a hit on Will County State's Attorney James Glasgow. Smith's recordings are the key evidence against Peterson, who's accused of plotting to kill the man who put him behind bars for killing his third wife. Smith steered the conversations made over 3 days so that Peterson said more than once that he agreed with the plan to kill Glasgow because he thought that with Glasgow gone, plus a successful appeal, he'd be free. David Stewart, Chicago.
More on the murder for hire Drew Peterson investigation later on this morning here on AM 560 with Amy and Dan. Meantime, officials say a man on a Southwest Airlines flight was arrested just after landing at Midway Airport. He's accused of making a threatening statement toward a flight attendant. The University of Illinois has dismissed guard Kendrick Nunn from the basketball team after he pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor domestic battery charge. And if you're traveling to Michigan over the holiday weekend, be aware there is a state of energy emergency in effect. In Michigan, gasoline is scarce due to the shutdown of a fuel pipeline in Wisconsin and an unplanned outage of the Marathon Oil refinery in Detroit. Cubs beat St. Louis 12-3, Cleveland over the White Sox 6-2, and the news a service of Burger King Breakfast. Right now at Burger King, get an awesome deal on breakfast. 2 croissant breakfast sandwiches for just $4, piled high with thick-cut bacon or savory sausage, fluffy eggs, melted cheese. That's 2 croissant for $4 only at Burger King, limited time only. Price and participation vary. 7:04, time to check the climate of your business with aircomfort.com. 80 years of quality mechanical solutions for your business. And a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Personal finance is 80% behavior, 20% head knowledge.
Dave Ramsey.
The reason you're in debt is behavior, not math. The way you get out of debt is behavior, change, not math. You can't borrow your way out of debt. How many times have you heard someone say, I had a whole bunch of credit card debt and I paid it off by getting a second mortgage? You didn't pay it off, you moved it.
The Dave Ramsey Show, weeknights starting at 7, right before Michael Medved at 10. Presented by Wintrust Community Bank on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey, let's get sentimental. Think about how much your father means to you. Now ask, what am I getting Dad for Father's Day on June 19th? It's weird, but did you know that 82% of all people don't know that you're supposed to change pillows every 2 years or less? That's because pillows absorb dead skin, dirt, skin, oils, and dust mites that can cause allergies, acne, asthma, and who knows what else. So if you haven't already done so, you need a washable MyPillow, and so does your dad. I may buy one for my dog Hunter. With a 10-year warranty, it's a great gift and health investment as well. And you'll sleep better. I do. That's why MyPillow is the official pillow of the National Sleep Foundation. Visit MyPillow.com or call 1-800-489-0201. Use the promo code Joe for the 2-for-1 offer. Keep one for you. Do it now. 800-489-0201 or online at MyPillow.com. Promo code Joe. 800-489-0201.
It's the Ready to Ride sales event and time to gear up for your ultimate off-road adventure. Experience the unmatched performance of a Can-Am Maverick XDS or the affordable Outlander L starting at $63.99. Hurry in by May 31st and save up to $2,000 on select 2015 models, plus get great financing. Get ready to ride because the fun starts now.
Visit our equipment in Sycamore.
Subject to credit approval. Restrictions may apply. See dealer for details. For safety and training info, contact the ATV Safety Institute.
Not available in all states. Whoa, what do you have there?
It's a Reese and Irvy's frozen yogurt. We just had our robot make one.
A robot made your frozen yogurt?
Yes, the world's first fully interactive robot vending machine that serves 9 flavors of delicious yogurt with 6 amazing toppings. And it's available for an exclusive franchise opportunity.
How do I get my own Reese and Irvy's robots?
It's easy, but you better act now. Locations and machines are going fast. Just go to froyofranchising.com. That's froyofranchising.com. Check it out now, froyofranchising.com.
7:07 in our Guardian Security Services Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On Chicago's west side, Kedzie is closed between Ohio and Huron after a reported shooting and crash. Eden's inbound 30 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose outbound 25. The Kennedy 45 minutes either way between O'Hare and downtown. The Eisenhower now an hour and 20 minutes from Thorndale to the post office. An hour and 5 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 37 minutes to Thorndale. To Stevenson, an hour and 20 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive, an hour from the Tri-State. Outbound 40 minutes to 355. Bryan is 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 35 minutes. I-80 to the Murray Bishop 427. Northbound Tri-State, really slow going from 115th to 31st and from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue curve. Adams Tollway slow Roselle to 53 and Bussey to the River Road Toll. Reagan Tollway slow Farnsworth to Eola and 22nd to the Tri-State. Veterans Memorial from 75th to the Reagan Tollway. Traffic answers when you need them most. Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. Here's our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Some sun followed by clouds. Humid today with a couple of afternoon showers and a heavy thunderstorm with a high 86. A couple of showers and a thunderstorm tonight with a low 67. Humid tomorrow with clouds and sun, high 84. And at night becoming mostly cloudy with a low 66. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
64 at O'Hare. Next news, 7:30. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Real Estate Live with Andrew Holmes. Get honest answers to your questions every Sunday at 12 noon.
Good morning. Welcome to your Wednesday morning briefing. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
Donald Trump will hear, no matter where he is, that California wants a positive future.
Now, the book Clinton Cash is to Hillary Clinton what the famous Black Book is to the mafia. It's got all the names, all the dollar amounts, all of the figures.
Hello, darling. Sir, please,
need some
sir,
help?
sir, Do you need some please, help? sir, please.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. A couple programming notes. You heard some excerpts at the top there. We're going to have Peter Schweitzer, the author of Clinton Cash, from which that Trump advisor was reading at the rally in Albuquerque last night. We're going to have him on at 7:37, Peter Schweitzer. And then at 8:08, Milo Yiannopoulos, the Breitbart tech editor, who's doing this college tour and is having paint thrown at him and having it disrupted like he was at DePaul when he stopped by DePaul the other day. The event was shut down by these bedwetters on the campus of DePaul there in Lincoln Park. We're going to have him on at 8:08, and he is a very, well, let's just say he has a certain zest for life.
Yeah, he's not a shy person.
No, he's not.
No.
He's quite entertaining. But while we're all obsessing about the presidential election, I try and keep people's focus a little bit inward, too. Think about the state of Illinois. I got some good news and I got some bad news for you, Amy.
All right, let's start with the good news? Or do you want to start with the bad news?
Well, let's get the bad news out of the way.
Oh, see, there you go.
The bad
Doom
news,
and gloom.
The bad news is we don't have a balanced state budget yet.
Right.
Don't have a constitutionally balanced state budget.
And we have until what, May 31st?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The good news?
Yeah?
The
You just saved a lot on your car insurance?
No. And now we have to pay because that's a trademarked phrase. Now
Oh.
we're going to have to pay for it.
No, Rick, please.
I'm kidding. And the good news is that the General Assembly in its infinite wisdom is moving in the direction of conferring more educational benefits at the collegiate level to persons in Illinois that are here illegally.
Okay.
How about that? So two bills, Senate Bill 2196 and Senate Bill 2204 for those of you scoring at home. Let me start with 2204. Let me get your reaction to this. You may want to think about contacting your state legislator. 2204 passed out of the House yesterday by a 61-49 margin with the support of a half a dozen Republicans, including Republican Superminority Leader Jim Durkin. This is what Senate Bill 2204 would do. It would allow persons that are here illegally to sit on the boards of public colleges and universities in Illinois. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It allows a non-citizen to sit as a student trustee on the boards of Illinois public colleges and universities. The student trustee position, they do vote on those boards. So at the leadership level of the college or university in Illinois, you could potentially have someone here that is undocumented, a.k.a. illegal. This is Senate Bill 2204, and it changed the residency provisions for student members of boards of trustees, amending the University of Illinois Trustees Act. And it used to be the required evidence of a student's Illinois residency for 6 months, evidence of a student's current valid Illinois driver's license, and evidence of the student's valid Illinois voter registration. Now it only requires one of those three things. And so not thinking through the implications of that, and this was asked on the House floor, actually by State Representative Jeannie Ives to the legislation sponsor, State Representative Lisa Hernandez, if this would allow for a non-citizen, someone here illegally, to sit on the board of trustees at, say, the University of Illinois or UIC, and the answer is yes. What do you think about that?
Well, why aren't we helping our own first? Why aren't we elevating our own to positions of power rather than helping people who are here illegally?
Bigot.
I'm not being a bigot, and I'm a bleeding heart Republican, but to me that doesn't sit well. It also doesn't sit well with me that a lot of U.S. colleges are offering Syrian refugee scholarships. Did you hear about that yesterday,
Oh,
too?
I did, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So there's more than 11 million Syrians who have fled their homes, and they estimate that about 100,000 are qualified to attend college, but few have options to do so. So places such as USC, Tufts University near Boston, Davidson College in North Carolina, they have agreed to allow Syrian refugees who are here illegally, but they're refugees, so I guess they're in the process of trying to become American citizens, giving them room and board and full rides, using financial aid in other cases to educate Syrian refugees.
Well, the State Department, this reported from the Washington Times, State Department admitted 80 Syrian refugees yesterday, 225 on Monday, which was a single-day record. Congratulations to the State Department for setting a personal best. President Obama is, of course, trying to meet his target of 10,000 approvals this year, and it's moving toot sweet.
Oh, toot nice.
And so that's happening.
But is it legal to earmark financial aid for Syrian students?
It's interesting you should ask because we got Senate Bill 2196 in Illinois.
Uh-oh.
This is co-sponsored by a Republican from DeKalb named Bob Pritchard, state representative. This would amend the State University Act in relation to in-state tuition and financial benefits for undocumented students. Remember, those that are undocumented already receive in-state tuition. That's already been conferred to them in Illinois.
Okay.
You remember Marco Rubio?
In Florida, when he was House Speaker?
Marco Rubio took some heat for that, the primary, you'll recall, on in-state tuition for persons here illegally. Well, that's what the case in Illinois, but that's not enough.
There's more?
This legislation would provide more. This would provide for eligibility for persons here illegally and attending Illinois Public College or University to apply or receive consideration for any student aid or benefit funded or administered by the state agencies, public institutions, or the university, including scholarships, grants, awards, stipends, room and board, tuition waivers, or other financial or in-kind assistance. What do you think about that? Senate Bill 2196, for those of you who want to call your state legislator and weigh in.
It was co-sponsored by a Republican, you said. Pritchard?
He's one of the sponsors.
So did you reach out to him?
No, I just found out about this yesterday.
And what are you going to do to Mr. Pritchard today, Mr. Prof?
Not going to do anything to him. I mean, it's just...
What country do we live in? I mean, I understand we help those in need. I get that, and I'm guilty of it. I try and help people every day or volunteer or do something, but this just seems misguided. Our priorities are in the wrong place when it comes to this.
Are there Illinois families, Americans, persons here legally with children that would like to go to an Illinois public college or university and would like access to benefits to help them cover the costs of higher education, which is no small task? I mean, is that something that's real? Middle-income families. Remember, the median household income in Illinois is about $52,000, and the cost of tuition, even in-state tuition,
is.
And I'm not talking about for persons here illegally. In-state tuition for persons here illegally is a big number.
One of the highest in the country, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, certainly higher than our neighbors in the comparative conferences. So these are not inconsequential sums, so that should be made equally available to persons here illegally as to persons here that are Illinois taxpayers.
How do our state lawmakers have time to argue and vote on that issue when they still have the budget looming overhead?
Got nothing but time. Nothing but time. Hey, all kinds of time for the important stuff.
Make sure they have their 3-day weekend, too, with the Memorial Day.
Limiting the number of bobcats that you can kill in a given season.
That was important.
Yeah, big things.
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line.
Big things. Kathy in Joliet, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hi, good morning, Dan. Good morning, Amy. This whole thing is just so annoying. I'm 62 years old, and I'm still paying off my student loans. Granted, I went back to school late to support my kids as a single mom. My kids are 24 and 26. They each have over $30,000 of student loans they're paying off. Mine are at $38,000. And this is with a master's though, and I'm in education. So I end up with, my accountant says to me, "Gee, you paid $4,000 in interest this year and only $900 in principal. You need to step that up." I'm like, okay, I wish I could if they could pay teachers. Where I'm at, I know, Dan, your position on CPS payroll, but I'm not at that level.
Right.
But the whole thing is just totally fast backwards, and I'm really tired of it. When I write that check out, not a write check, but I press that send button online to pay my student loan, I'll be paying it out of my Social Security and maybe out of the grave even.
Kathy, let me suggest some options for you. You can do one of two things. If you want access to maybe some of these benefits, or your children do, you can renounce your American citizenship. That'll help. Or you can self-identify as an undocumented immigrant.
Well, let me tell you, I thought about getting married to somebody with a really ethnic name and just trying to refinance my loan. I know I did way better than the 6.875 that they got me back 10 years ago when I finished up. And this, they say, oh, you can have loan forgiveness if you work in a public institution. Yeah, that's after 120 consecutive payments. That's 10 years, okay?
You need to lower your interest rate. You should call
Coming out
David
of school, they don't know what that means, because they might have a degree, but they're not street smart.
Thanks for the call. I get it. Thanks for the call, Kathy. Appreciate it. Pete in Mount Prospect. Hey, Pete.
Hello.
Hey, Pete. Hello, Pete. Pete.
This is Pete.
Yes, I know, Pete. This is Dan. You're on the air.
Dan, good morning. I have my grandniece who's been here 2 years on a student visa, going to Oakton College and been paying full boat, which is great profitability for Oakton. I don't mind that. But why should any illegal have a lower tuition, and B, why should they be allowed into school? They're illegal anyway.
It's our government saying we want to be nice and kind to Muslims.
Thanks for the call. Well, it's not limited to Muslims. Thanks for the call, Pete. That's a very good question. It's one that should be directed to state legislators. Ralph in Rantoul.
Yeah, good morning. First of all, I agree. I don't think any illegal should be offered any sort of freebie, except the free chance to become an American citizen and immigrate in legally like everybody else. But I think all these sorts of gifts and perks and carve-outs for people of all different flavors and styles is just flat out wrong. It seems like the only people who don't get carve-outs these days are, the much-hated devil people, the white population, which is weird. I mean, there's still a lot of grants and other things that are available. I think that all of these sorts of, especially freebies for illegals, should be eliminated. You're illegally in the country, all right? You don't have rights it's period. You're illegal.
Thanks for the call, Ralph.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Some hazy sunshine right now, going up to a high of 86 degrees today, 73 right now at O'Hare. It feels like a summer day out there. We can't rule out a chance of a heavy thunderstorm late this afternoon, and tonight showers continue. And tomorrow it's going to be very warm but humid with mostly sunny skies. It looks great, a high of 84. Anything spectacular on the roadways, Jim Delamonte?
Well, Amy, some of the travel times are unfortunately spectacularly high, especially the Eisenhower. It's an hour and 20 minutes, Thorndale to downtown. An hour and 5 minutes from Manheim, and the Stevenson, no fun either, an hour and 15 minutes. 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. The Kennedy's getting pretty heavy, too. It's 55 minutes, so O'Hare to downtown, no quicker in the Express. Outbound 45 minutes. The Edens, 30 minutes either way between Lake Hook and the Junction. The Ryan slow all the way in. 35 minutes, 95th to downtown. On the west side, there's a closure of Kedzie between Huron and Ohio after a reported situation with shots fired and some glass debris in that area. Tollways are pretty heavy, the tri-state especially on the northbound side. 115th to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to Grand Avenue. And the Veterans Memorial's now tied up from I-55 most of the way to Roosevelt and Army Trail to 290. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Guardian Security Services Traffic Center.
Links for Liberty, sponsored by the Illinois Policy Institute. It's a day-long golf event that supports and celebrates making Illinois a freer, more prosperous state. Join the Illinois Policy Institute at Mistwood Golf Course in Romeoville on Friday, June 3rd. I will be there, and you can.
Oh my gosh!
And you can
the
play.
Dan Proft will be there.
Well, I'll be part of a foursome, the winning foursome, so you can participate, but don't expect to take home the hardware. To find out, and by the way, Mistwood, they did a whole redo of Mistwood. It's really a great course, actually. Miss Wood in Romeoville is where the event is. Friday, June 3rd. To find out more and to register for this great day, visit linksforliberty.com.
It looks like I'm a wreck. It's in the hole! Did you know that if you have mutual funds in your IRA, 401k, or investment accounts, that according to Forbes magazine, you could be paying as much as 3.17% in hidden fees every single year? 3.17% may not sound like much, but over 10 years, it's costing you 32%, whether your fund is up or down. Hi, it's Tom Fortino of the Alpha Wealth Group in Chicago and host of the Alpha Wealth Hour on AM 560. This is just one of the reasons I hate mutual funds, and you should too. You may not know this, but you have far more investment options today without the excessive fees. Learn what they are in my free report, The Truth Behind Mutual Funds. What you learn may shock you. To get your free report, The Truth Behind Mutual Funds, call 630-519-4742. There's no obligation. That's 630-519-4742.
Investment advisory services. Offered through Retirement Wealth Advisors, Inc.
Did you know most vitamin supplements do not come from food? Typically, supplements are synthetic. They are made in a laboratory. This cheap, unnatural chemistry may look good under a microscope, but the body is not fooled. It knows the difference and craves quality materials to build, repair, and fight illness. Don't settle for imitation nutrition. Reach for the good stuff. The real stuff. Now ask yourself, how many servings of fruits and vegetables did I eat today? Balance of Nature provides an easy and affordable way to consume over 10 servings of 31 different whole fruits and vegetables every day. My name is Dr. Howard. I've recommended Balance of Nature for over 15 years because of the excellent results I see in my patients.
Begin giving your body the fruits and vegetables it needs every day. Accept and complete Dr. Howard's 120-day health challenge to earn a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
The ALS Association Greater Chicago chapter is fighting ALS every day on every front. They're the preeminent leader in the fight against ALS in the state of Illinois and provide superior care services and resources to those living with ALS. The Greater Chicago chapter funds the only 2 certified treatment centers of excellence at University of Chicago and University of Illinois. They're the leaders in funding national and international ALS research. Advocate tirelessly on Capitol Hill for those who have ALS and work closely with the Department of Defense, who provide funding for ALS research and ALS veteran care. Military personnel are 2 to 4 times more likely to be diagnosed with ALS than the general population. You can help the fight to stop ALS. Run their marathon, join one of their 3 walks, or play in their golf outing. Just call 312-932-0000. That's 312-932-0000 for more information about the ALS Association Greater Chicago chapter.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, I've got some more bad news for you.
What?
Well, good news. It could be good news. Peyton and Eli are going to be living with you for another 25 years yet. This, according to Pew Research Center analysis released yesterday, that shows for the first time since 1880.
1880?
Living with parents is the most common arrangement for 18 to 34-year-olds.
34-year-olds, not 24-year-olds?
18 to 34-year-olds. 32% of 18 to 34-year-olds were living in their parents' basement, or somewhere in their home.
I blame Obamacare for this because one of the motivating factors for me getting out of the house once I graduated from college was health insurance. I needed to get a job so that I had health insurance. And now they can just, suck off their parents, off the teeth of their parents and of the government until they're 26 years old.
Well, they're not even grown up, right? They're not even an adult until 27 now because the health insurance runs out at 26.
Yeah. So they get them 6 years after the health insurance runs out to get a JOB.
You got to kind of set a glide path. You got to ease into the workforce.
I understand for people who are just graduating, that graduated last week. I understand living with your parents for a little bit, but then it's time to go bye-bye.
Well, the other thing that Pew suggests is a decline in romantic coupling, pushing living at home to the top of a much less uniform list of arrangements. So the fact that young people are pushing off marriage, that's a big part of it as well, that it's later, if at all. So there's that. So you and Peyton and Eli.
Looks like we're going to have a nice little life together,
You're going to be able to spend your golden years with the kids under the same roof, all playing video games.
That's just a fact.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
CertaPro painters are here for every stage of your life, from moving into a new home, creating the ideal nursery, to reinventing your living space. CertaPro painting experts create the perfect setting while you do life. They came to our home and brightened our walls and our moods so very quiet they wouldn't wake a baby. But the best part? They clean up after themselves so you don't have to do it. And now that spring is here, it is the perfect time to spruce up your home's exterior. Take a look at your home. Do you see chipping, peeling, fading? Well, leave it to CertaPro painting experts to refresh, renew, and protect your biggest investment, your home. Now is the time to call for your free estimate and schedule your exterior painting project. 1-800-GO-CERTA, 1-800-GOCERTA. That's CERTA with a C. Or visit CertaPro.com today, CertaPro.com. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated.
AM 560, The Answer.
Great show still ahead for you here on AM 560, The Answer.
We've got Peter Schweitzer at 7:37, of course, the author of Clinton Cash, which there was a bit of a book reading at the Trump rally in New Mexico, so revisiting a lot of the good, diligent work he did. And Hillary flip-flops on housing. We'll have that at 7:37.
But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. Sunny and 67. And this morning, the House Homeland Security Committee is set to call the head of the TSA onto the hot seat, looking for answers to long lines at airport security queue points. Western and south central parts of Kansas assessing damage after several storms across the plains overnight, downed trees and power lines. In Oklahoma, the Highway Patrol says one person drowned about 50 miles northeast of Oklahoma City when that vehicle they were driving was swept into a drainage culvert. Authorities in New Mexico are characterizing an anti-Donald Trump demonstration outside a campaign rally as a riot. Authorities say demonstrators tossed burning T-shirts and bottles at police officers last night. Trump was interrupted repeatedly by protesters inside the rally, and the likely Republican presidential nominee then turned on Republican Governor Suzanne Martinez.
Since 2000, the number of people on food stamps in New Mexico has tripled. We have to get your governor to get going. She's got to do a better job, okay? Your governor has got to do a better job.
Martinez has been critical of Trump, and she did not attend that rally. Coffee drinkers rejoiced this morning. Your cup of Joe getting a little cheaper. Company that owns Folgers and Dunkin' Donuts coffee, that would be Smucker's, says it's dropping prices by about 6%. It's the second price cut in a year. Here in Chicago, a man is dead after he crashed an ATV on Chicago's southwest side near 62nd and Austin. Search is underway to find a suspect who fired gunshots at a police car on the north side of Chicago. Authorities say officers were driving on Peterson Avenue early this morning when they noticed someone on a bike yelling gang slogans. They tried to stop that bike, but the person on that bicycle fired several shots at the police car and then fled the scene. Chicago sports found the Cubs over St. Louis easily last night, 12-3. Cleveland beat the White Sox and Chris Sale, 6-2. The news a service of Napa Auto Parts. With more than 400,000 quality parts and over 90 years of experience, Napa can help keep just about anything on the road. So stop by your local Napa Auto Parts store and keep it running longer, stronger with Napa know-how. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher says people need to eat their crow and move on.
Don't underestimate the hurt feelings. People have painted themselves into a corner. They've got egg on their face, and pride is a powerful emotion. There's a lot of prideful people now who have to say, okay, I was wrong, didn't think he could get the nomination, didn't think people would get behind him. He's got the nomination. People are behind him.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey, your kids won't be thinking about school very much this summer, but it's a perfect time for you to think about where you'll be sending your kids back to school this fall. More and more parents are thinking about private schools, and maybe that's you. Well, private school has never been more affordable thanks to halfpriceschools.com, where you can find tuition vouchers for private schools across the Chicago area Available at, you guessed it, half off the normal price. There's no catch. It's real simple. Find a school near you, purchase the tuition voucher, and prepare to send your child off to school this fall. HalfPriceSchools.com has schools located all across the Chicagoland area, including Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, Grayslake, Illinois, Westchester, Palos Hill, LaSalle, Chicago, Arlington Heights, just to name a few. But don't delay. Summer won't last forever, and school will be starting again before you know it. So visit HalfPriceSchools.com today. Many of these vouchers have already sold out, so do not wait. Visit HalfPriceSchools.com today. That's HalfPriceSchools.com.
Tea times, golf outings, driving range, golf academy, brunch, dinner, weddings, banquets, receptions. Find and do it all at the Bolingbrook Golf Club. Info online at BolingbrookGolfClub.com.
Welcome to Staples. Staples Guy, you know what business people hate? Stale coffee? Ink. Right. We have to have it, and it's so darn expensive.
Well, Staples just cut ink and toner prices.
Really?
Add in our 110% price match guarantee, and our prices are unbeatable.
Great. Know what else every business owner hates?
What?
Paper cuts.
So true.
For unbeatable prices on ink and toner, Staples. Make more happen.
Staples will match price plus refund 10% of the difference at checkout for items from retailers operating online and retail stores or products sold and shipped by Amazon. Limited time. See store or staples.com for details.
Fact. College Illinois 529 prepaid tuition locks in tuition at today's plan rates to help you secure your child's future. Purchase a plan now and lock in your college costs before the May 31st enrollment deadline. Enroll now at collegeillinois.org.
Right now at Feldco, get 2 windows for the price of 1. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
7:36 in our Guardian Security Services Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On the west side, Madison is closed at Wood near the United Center due to a rollover crash. The Edens is 35 minutes. Lake Cook to the junction, outbound 30. Kennedy, an hour and 10 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound it's an hour. The Eisenhower, an hour and 25 minutes. Thorndale to the post office, outbound 46 minutes. Stevenson, an hour and 15 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 40 minutes. Ryan, 35 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State jammed 115th to 31st. From the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue curve, Veterans Memorial, mile 55 to 75th after a crash. Traffic service at Burger King's breakfast. Right now at Burger King, get an awesome deal on breakfast. 2 croissant breakfast sandwiches for just $4. Piled high with thick cut bacon or savory sausage, fluffy eggs, and melted cheese. That's 2 croissant for $4. Only at Burger King. Limited time only. Price and participation vary. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte. AM 560 for The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. Couple of showers and heavy thunderstorms are expected late in the day. High 86. And those showers and storms and clouds continue overnight. Low 67. 66 at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 8. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Financial Planning with Jack Taboda, your 401k specialist, whose goal is to protect, preserve, and grow your wealth. Saturday mornings at 7.
If you're talking about it, I'll be talking about it. Dennis Prager here. Join me this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, so we're waiting for a lot of information from Hillary Clinton, like the transcripts of those Wall Street speeches. You remember.
Oh, she's all on that.
The speeches she gave to the big Wall Street banks to say, hey, stop with your mortgage shenanigans.
I represented Wall Street as a senator from New York, and I went to Wall Street in December of 2007, before the big crash that we had, and I basically said, cut it out. Quit foreclosing on homes.
Yeah.
Stop it. Just stop it.
Cut it out. That's what she said. They paid her $250,000 to come and chide them about foreclosing on homes. Interestingly, because also in 2007, Hillary Clinton, same Hillary Clinton, she gave a speech at NASDAQ HQ and struck a little bit different tone about foreclosures.
Now, who's exactly to blame for the housing crisis? I think there's plenty of blame to go around. Home buyers who paid extra fees to avoid documenting their income should have known they were getting in over their heads.
Oh, so those signature loans were the fault of the homeowners, the borrower.
The subprime mortgages. You shouldn't have gone for that mortgage.
Boy, that's a very different tone than her big, I stood up to the Wall Street banks that were paying me hundreds of thousands of dollars for an hour-long speech. I can't wait for those transcripts. But, the Clinton hypocrisy, it's one of the reasons there's Clinton fatigue. Another reason is because of what we now know about Clinton Inc., this conglomerate, what they have been doing since the two of them left the White House, this hillbilly House of Cards routine they do, not just in making money, but also in leveraging, potentially, the Secretary of State's office. This is something that the FBI is investigating, leveraging the Secretary of State's office to advance the interests of the Clinton Foundation and the Clintons personally by extension. This is a topic that you can guarantee is going to be brought back around by the Trump campaign. And frankly, it already was last night in Albuquerque, where Trump advisor Stephen Miller did a little reading for the assembled Trump supporters prior to Trump's appearance.
Now, the book Clinton Cash is to Hillary Clinton what the famous Black Book is to the mafia. It's got all the names, all the dollar amounts, all of the figures.
Yeah, so there you go. I don't know if maybe Peter Schweitzer, when he does a reprint or the paperback version of Clinton Cash, he can get Stephen Miller's analogy there for the book jacket. We're happy to be joined by the author of the aforesaid book, Clinton Cash, Peter Schweitzer, who's also the president of the Government Accountability Institute. Peter, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Hey, absolutely. Good morning, guys. How are you?
How about that? Were you happy to see your book prominently mentioned at the Trump rally last night?
Well, I tell you, any author will tell you they are thrilled when, A, people pay attention to their book, and B, people actually go out and buy it. So as an author, you're always thankful and grateful that people are interested in what you're saying. And, particularly what's interesting here is, of course, as you guys know, because I was on your show, is that this book came out last year, and it was, a New York Times bestseller for several weeks. And, oftentimes you kind of expect a book comes out and then, over the course of months, there's less and less interest. And in this case, it's a pleasant surprise, lo and behold, for the book to be back in the spotlight a year later. So as an author, I'm thrilled.
So in 2000, Bill and Hillary Clinton, they owed millions of dollars in legal debt and legal fees, but I assume that they, amassed their wealth through lucrative book deals and speaking gigs. But how did they really get that money?
Well, that's right, and the numbers are really astronomical. Think about this for a second. In 2001, they were dead broke. That's what Hillary said, and Hillary was right about that. They were dead broke.
Did they have a hard time? Sorry, did they have a hard time paying their mortgages?
I don't know if they had a hard time paying their mortgages, but they really didn't have a lot of. Yeah, they really did not have a lot of money, and between then and now, they've gone from zero to $200 million. And of that $200 million, $170 million came between 2007 and today. And what's interesting about that is, look, presidents hit the lecture circuit, ex-presidents have, since Eisenhower. You don't really fault them for doing that. But this really is troubling because the speaking fees, and I'll put speaking fees in quotation marks, in the case of the Clintons, I would contend often resembles more basically a payment or a consulting fee for favorable action by Hillary while she was in government office. So, you look at Bill's speaking fees, which were about $175,000 when he left the White House. They remained there up until late 2008. Then in late 2008, what happens, lo and behold, his speaking fees triple overnight. They triple overnight. So is it because he's 3 times more eloquent? No, it's because his wife suddenly is appointed Secretary of State and it becomes America's chief diplomat. And suddenly all these foreign entities from Nigeria to Russia to South America and China suddenly say, I think if we throw a bunch of money at Bill, this might be a good strategy, and we might be able to get what we want from the State Department. And I think that's precisely what happened.
I wonder, through your research, and you're referencing some of it, and these stories are all told and documented in the book, I wonder if you have been contacted by the FBI or they've requested any material from you that was used to produce your book, because we know that it's not just about emails on the private server. It's also about the Clinton Foundation vis-a-vis her time as Secretary of State.
It is, and that's a very good question, and I hate to punt on you, but I would just say that, look, Government Accountability Institute, we've been around for 4 years. We have cooperated with federal law enforcement in the past based on our research, because we consider part of our mission not just informing the public, but also making sure that justice is done, and we would certainly do so in the future. As to what's going on right now, I'd rather just not comment on.
Oh, okay, that's fair enough. That's actually a somewhat of a telling answer, in my opinion. But let me ask you another question about all of your research and the book. We know this is all going to come full circle. We predicted when your book came out. It's happening. I mean, if Hillary is the nominee, which she's going to be, it appears, short of Jim Comey doing something about that. And so it has come full circle. And the question now becomes, because it is such a target-rich environment, and because some of these stories that you document are complicated, or at least more complicated than a 30-second commercial or a 2-minute exchange in a debate provides for in terms of explaining these in detail to the larger American electorate, where do you think the softest underbelly that is explainable, that could be assimilated by the American public, is with respect to all of Clinton Inc.'s business dealings?
That's a very good question, and I would say that the American people have shown this electoral cycle, whether it is Donald Trump for Republicans or Bernie Sanders on the Democrat side, that they know the game that's being played by people in Washington, D.C. And so what I tell people about the Clintons is, yes, you need to read these narratives, you need to look at the money, but at the end of the day, the vast majority of people in the United States understand follow the money. And the simple question is, do you believe that people that are, politically connected and government officials in countries like Nigeria and Russia and China and a whole host of others are giving large amounts of money to the Clinton Foundation or sponsoring speaking fees by Bill out of the kindness of their hearts? Or do you believe that they want something and are getting something in return? That's really the fundamental question. And I consider it absolutely, completely naive to think that people that operate that have climbed to the top of corrupt countries like Nigeria and Russia are just now suddenly saying, we just like Bill and Hillary. We think they're good, civic-minded people. We want to throw money at them, and we don't want anything in return.
Well, what is the Clinton Foundation doing in Haiti? And are they helping anybody there?
Yeah, I mean, that's something that comes up quite frequently. And the answer is, the people that are being helped most in Haiti, surprisingly, and the Clintons would say coincidentally, happen to be major donors to the Clinton Foundation. By all accounts, the reconstruction of Haiti has been an abysmal exercise. There have been billions of dollars thrown at the problem there after that horrific earthquake in January of 2010. And you would expect with a country that's relatively small getting that amount of money that you would see, rebuilt infrastructure, rebuilt roads, rebuilt homes. As I chart out in the book, and it's been, demonstrated by other media outlets, that's really not what's happened. What's happened is that large sums of money that were supposed to go for reconstruction ended up going for projects that benefited major Clinton donors. The biggest one where they took federal taxpayer dollars was to build a textile factory in Haiti. Now, what's ironic about this is the earthquake in Haiti happened in the southern part of the country. That's where it was devastated. The north of Haiti was not affected by the earthquake at all. But where did they build, with taxpayer dollars, this textile factory? They built it in the northern part of the country because that's where the major donors, who are now getting their textiles produced, for pennies on the dollar, wanted it built. And that's just one example of numerous examples of people who have given them lots of money, who have sponsored speaking fees, made out very, very well in Haiti, and unfortunately, the people of Haiti, not so much.
Speaking of someone who made out well through his association with the Clintons, Terry McAuliffe, the Virginia governor, seems that perhaps the circle is widening with the revelation in the last couple of days that Terry McAuliffe is the subject of an FBI investigation into illegal campaign contributions he may have received while running for governor of Virginia. He's a former Clinton Foundation board member, as well as a DNC chairman and a Bill and Hillary friend, 2008 campaign co-chairman for Hillary. Were you surprised to see Terry McAuliffe looped into this?
I wasn't surprised that he was looped into this. And when you look at the reporting on this, there's a couple of, I think, interesting and important things that stand out. I mean, CNN broke the story on this, and they basically said that this is an investigation about Governor McAuliffe, as governor of Virginia, taking campaign contributions from a Chinese businessman, Mr. Wang, who is a former Chinese politician, who made $120,000 in campaign donations. And CNN said the investigation was to determine whether Mr. Wang could actually make those donations. It's illegal for a foreign national to contribute to American political campaigns. The exception is whether that foreign national has permanent resident status in the United States. So, the CNN and I think the McAuliffe campaign and administration has said, well, this is just an investigation about whether Mr. Wang could legally make those contributions, which does not, I think, reflect what is going on. And here's why. The investigation into McAuliffe began 1 year ago by the FBI. It does not take the FBI 1 year to determine whether Mr. Wang has permanent resident status in the United States. All they need to do is check records. I mean, that's all they need to do. What they are investigating, I would argue, is not so much those donations in isolation and whether Mr. Wang could make them. I think what they are investigating is the larger issue of the Clintons and their basically bagmen, the people that did most of the fundraising, which would be Terry McAuliffe, whether donations were made and favors were done in return, which is a more complex and difficult thing to investigate.
Because part of the story is the overlap between Clinton Foundation donors and McAuliffe donors.
That's exactly right. And this is how it works, in Clinton world. I mean, there's a network. You have the Clintons at the center of it, and then you have sort of the insiders, of which you would put people like Cheryl Mills, but you would also put Terry McAuliffe. And when they go off on their own ventures, they remain part of the solar system of Clinton world, but they oftentimes take that money with them. And you're exactly right. So Mr. Wang, in this case, who donated $120,000 to Terry McAuliffe's gubernatorial run and the inauguration as governor of Virginia, also has donated $2 million to the Clinton Foundation. So, yes, that's exactly right. There's a lot of overlap. There's a lot of flow of money, and this is about far more than whether Mr. Wang has permanent resident status in the United States. I think it's far more broad-based than that.
He is Peter Schweitzer, the president of the Government Accountability Institute, the author of Clinton Cash. If you haven't picked it up, it's a good time to do so. If you have, it's a good time to reread it. Peter, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey, always enjoy being on. Thanks.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Some sunshine right now, some high clouds, but some showers and a possible heavy thunderstorm rolling through here late this afternoon, a high of 86 degrees. Tonight, a couple of showers and a thunderstorm in spots. And then tomorrow, it's going to be warm and humid with mostly sunny skies, a high of 84. Let's get some hopefully good news on the roadways. How is it out there, Jim Telemonte?
Well, Amy, wish I had better news. It's awful, really. West Side Madison is closed right now between Paulina and Wood due to a rollover crash. Kedzie is closed here onto Ohio after shots were fired and there's debris. The Edens is 30 minutes like Cook to Montrose, outbound 45 to Kennedy. Now an hour and 10 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 40 minutes from Montrose, 30 in the Express, outbound an hour to O'Hare. The Eisenhower's an hour and a half from Thorndale to the post office, outbound 48 minutes. Stevenson an hour and 15 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 40 minutes. Ryan 35 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State jammed Cicero Avenue to the Hinsdale Oasis, then from the Cermak Toll to the Grand Avenue curve. Veterans Memorial's a mess northbound from I-55 most of the way to Roosevelt and from the Army Trail Toll to 290. Southbound 53 is the Rand to Kirchhoff. Jim Talamonte in the Guardian Security Services Traffic Center.
Hey, Father's Day is right around the corner. It is June 19th. So what are you getting, Pops, for Father's Day? I have a suggestion, a MyPillow, which is also a healthy gift because it's gross, but didn't you know that 82% of all people don't know that you're supposed to change pillows every 2 years or less? That's because pillows absorb dead skin, dirt, skin oils, and dust mites. That's right. dust mites that can cause allergies, acne, asthma, and who knows what else. So if you haven't already done so, you need a washable MyPillow, and so does your dad. Heck, I might even get one for my dog, Bunky. With a 10-year warranty, it is a great gift and health investment, and you'll sleep better. I know I do. That's why MyPillow is the official pillow of the National Sleep Foundation. So visit MyPillow.com, type in Amy in that promo code, 2 pillows for the price of 1, or call this number, 800-489-0201. That's 800-489-0201. Do it now, 800-489-0201, or online at MyPillow.com, promo code Amy.
And now, a moment of objectivism with Yaron Brook and the Ayn Rand Institute.
Novelist and philosopher Ayn Rand was a teenager when the Soviets first allowed foreign films to be shown in Russian movie theaters. The shots of streets and skylines offered Rand the first precious glimpses of a land that resonated with her vision of the ideal, America. America, a land dedicated to protecting the freedom of the individual, stood in sharp contrast to the collectivism of communist Russia where she grew up. Rand would eventually escape Russia and immigrate to America, a place where society thrived and each individual was free to pursue his own life and happiness. She described it as the greatest, the noblest, and in its original founding principles, the only moral country in the history of the world. From the Ayn Rand Institute, I'm Yaron Brook.
This has been a moment of objectivism from the Ayn Rand Institute. To learn more, listen to the Yaron Brooks Show, Saturdays at 4 on AM 560, and visit ariradio.com.
Mark your calendar, Chicago, for Tuesday, June 7th at the Langham Hotel for the 5th Annual Atlas Shrugged Revolution Dinner. This event has everything: a worthy cause, engaging speakers including AM 560's Joe Walsh, a beautiful venue, and fantastic food. Plus, it's your chance to target your support of the Ayn Rand Institute for students in the Chicagoland area. Complete details are online at aynrand.org/Chicago. That's aynrand.org/Chicago.
We're so excited about our sold-out golf outing at the Bolingbrook Golf Club coming up on Thursday, June 16th to benefit Operation Support Our Troops America.
If you weren't able to get in this year, don't worry. You can still reserve a tee time at the Bolingbrook Golf Club anytime this spring or summer by visiting BolingbrookGolfClub.com.
And thanks to the sponsors who are making our golf outing possible.
Remax Professionals, Charity Golf International, Dr. Amy and Associates, MJ Miller and Company Jewelers in Barrington, Augustino's Rock and Roll Deli, and Pearl Mortgage.
Life should be an adventure, and so should your health. It's another can't-miss Health Quest radio show this Saturday morning. Dr. David Kolbaba.
I'm the host of Chicagoland's longest-running health news and science show. As a primary natural healthcare practitioner, I've been helping people just like you reach a higher place of health and longevity, utilizing more natural strategies as I believe our Creator meant it to be.
Create your adventure in health. Tune into Health Quest Radio every Saturday morning at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Place your orders for promotional items now for the year. Get ready for the big trade show. Provide shirts or jackets for all of your employees, students, or church members. Or giveaway items like coffee mugs, pens, or hats. Whatever it is, you can trust an American to take care of it.
This is Sam Gilberto, president of American Embroidery and Screen Printing and American Marketing Products. We specialize in putting your logo on just about anything. Our focus is entirely on you, our customer. We want every customer experience to be outstanding.
Here's an offer to help your budgets for the new year. 10% off and free artwork on embroidery and screen printing orders for all new customers. 10% off and free artwork on embroidery and screen printing orders for all new customers.
We have the capability, capacity, and know-how to get your job done right and on time.
Call 630-766-2825. 630-766-2825. Get more at trustinamerican.com.
I'm Dan Proft with an Upstream idea brought to you by the Illinois Policy Institute. 27. Illinois state employees, on average, receive total compensation 27% higher than their private sector counterparts. State employees made nearly $4,000 more in wages and $13,000 in benefits than private sector employees. More than half of state workers will retire before the age of 60 with a guaranteed state pension. The state is in a financial death spiral with ground impact imminent. So keep this in mind as Governor Bruce Rauner breaks off contract talks with AFSCME, the state's largest public sector union.
AFSCME has been unwilling to give on its demands for annual step increases of 3.8%, in addition to annual general wage increases. The lowball estimate of the cost of what AFSCME demands is $1.6 billion. That's $1.6 billion more from Illinois families who already pay the highest property taxes in the nation. This is Governor Rauner's moment of truth. He ran for office saying he is not a politician. He said he is a businessman who will make the difficult decisions to turn around the state he loves. We're about to find out if that's true. For more Upstream ideas, visit upstream-ideas.com. I'm Dan Proft.
Mike Rowe here with a quick IAQ test for my buddy Bill. Wait, I didn't study. IAQ stands for Indoor Air Quality, something 1 hour excels at.
Well, I aced my SATs, so...
Yes or no? Do you breathe inside your home?
Yeah.
And what do you breathe?
Air.
And what's in that air?
Air?
Sorry, we were looking for dust mites, household pollutants, even formaldehyde.
Wait, I need to move.
Or you could call 1 hour and improve your IAQ.
That sounds smarter.
Let's see how you do with the disclaimer.
Each independent franchise is licensed in its respective state or county.
Not bad.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Brace yourselves, particularly if you're a fragile DePaul University leftist bedwetter. Milo Yiannopoulos joins us at 8:08.
But first, into the newsroom we go. Here's Mike Scott.
A man is dead after crashing an ATV on Chicago's southwest side. WIND Chicago News Time, 8 o'clock.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony. They're ganging up on Donald Trump. Hillary Clinton critical of his business practices, along with Democrat Senator Elizabeth Warren.
Donald Trump was drooling over the idea of a housing meltdown because it meant he could buy up more property on the cheap.
Trump's response, calling Warren Pocahontas.
She's a total failure. She said she was an Indian.
And he mocked what they said.
And Donald Trump is a terrible person. And he wanted to buy housing when it was at a low point. Who the hell doesn't?
That was at a Trump rally surrounded by a lot of drama. Fox's Tanya J. Powers has more live.
Well, some call protest at that Donald Trump rally in Albuquerque a demonstration. Others called it a riot. Protesters interrupted Donald Trump speaking during that rally, repeatedly holding up signs that said Trump is fascist before he called for security.
Bring him home to mom. Go home to mommy. Go home to mommy.
A female protester dragged from the stands by security. Police said several officers were treated for injuries after getting hit by rocks thrown by those protesters. They responded by firing pepper spray and smoke grenades into the crowd, Dave.
And Tanya, Egypt is asking for outside help finding the black box recorders to help solve the mystery of the crash Egypt Air Flight 804. French and Italian companies will help scan the Mediterranean. So far, just bits and pieces of the plane and human remains have been found. The Taliban goes on the attack in Afghanistan. A suicide bomber hit a minibus during rush hour, killing at least 11 people.
The violence comes as the Taliban has named in a statement Mullah Hibatullah Azkhanzadeh as their new leader. The former leader, Mullah Akhtar Mansour, was killed in a U.S. drone strike in Pakistan. That's Fox's Jessica Gala. Her CEOs keep earning more. A new Equilar study says chief executives of the biggest U.S. companies got a nearly 5% pay raise last year. The CEO of a typical S&P 500 company earned nearly $11 million, including bonuses, stock, and other compensation. Fox News Radio. Fair and balanced.
In Chicago, sunshine, 67 degrees at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A man dead after crashing an ATV on Chicago's southwest side. Police tell us he was not wearing a helmet. He slammed into a vehicle near 62nd and Austin. A search underway to find a suspect who fired gunshots at a police car on the north side of Chicago. The officers driving on Peterson Avenue early this morning when someone on a bike yelled gang slogans. When police tried to intervene, several shots were fired at their car, and the bike rider fled. A lawyer would have to be present when police question Illinois juveniles younger than 15 in murder or sex offense investigations under a measure lawmakers are considering in Springfield. They say it seeks to eliminate false confessions. Protesters rallying against a conservative journalist who was brought in to speak at DePaul University. This activist could be seen jumping on stage yesterday as Milo Yiannopoulos streamed his speech live on his YouTube channel.
We have heard enough of this foolishness, okay? Every time you hear this foolishness, it's followed by the blood on somebody else's hands.
This disruption caused the event to be canceled. Dan and Amy will talk with journalist Milo Yiannopoulos in our next half hour. Chicago sports, Cubs over St. Louis 12-3. Cleveland beat the White Sox 6-2, besting Chris Sale. The news service of Hum by Verizon. Hum by Verizon, the technology designed to make your car smarter, safer, and more connected. It's easy. Just plug it in and you'll get vehicle diagnostics, emergency assistance, and pinpoint roadside help. Get some peace of mind and a smarter, safer, more connected car. Visit hum.com now. 8:03, time for the AM 560 Business Beat. From the Fox Business Network and a service of Turnkey.pro, here's Jenny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, America's corporate CEOs received a raise last year, even if their company's stock price declined. The annual study from executive data firm Equilar for the Associated Press says the typical chief executive in the Standard & Poor's 500 index made $10.8 million, including bonuses, stock awards, and other perks. Hewlett-Packard split off its enterprise unit last year. Now it's splitting off the part of that unit that does technology services. Under Armour is taking on Nike by opening its own stores. The New York Post says Under Armour is trying to open one of the flagship stores in the former FAO Schwarz store near Central Park in New York City, a space Nike and Apple would both like to lease. And the Battery Bunny goes to court. Energizer Holdings will be allowed to sue Duracell over its use of a pink bunny on battery packages. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Ginny Cosola.
8:04 in Chicago. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
So Trump says Hillary is playing the gender card. Hillary thinks Trump is abusive to women. Hillary gets her personal newspaper, the New York Times, to write a 9-page story about it. Trump thinks Hillary's hubby was the abuser-in-chief and claims Hillary turned on the victims. Earth to candidates. We don't care. We do care about defending this country against terrorism, rebuilding the military, controlling the border, and creating good jobs. Let's talk about that. Give us a plan. That might get you elected. Stick around for more good ideas. AM 560, The Answer.
If you're serious about selling your home, now's the time. Supply is low, and it's a great seller's market in many Chicagoland neighborhoods. Now, I've done the research, and along with my Salem radio colleagues, Dennis Prager and Michael Medved, we all recommend that you call Saul. Saul Z and the Z team are so good that if they don't sell your home in 59 days, they'll sell it for free, guaranteed. Saul is ranked 106th out of 1.2 million agents by the Wall Street Journal. His proven marketing system is so effective that he sells on average a home every single day, attracting multiple full-price offers. Now that demand helps sell your home fast at the highest price. It's a no-brainer. If I was selling a home in Chicagoland, I'd definitely call Saul. 888-346-0666 or call Saul, SAUL.net. Call Saul.net or 888-346-0666. You'd better call Saul.
It's the Ready to Ride sales event and time to gear up for your ultimate adventure. Ride the waves or take on trails with control and peace of mind. Sea-Doo watercrafts and Can-Am ATVs are engineered to perform and excite. Get your Sea-Doo starting at $51.99 and save up to $1,000 on select 2015 Can-Am ATVs. Get ready to ride because the fun starts now. Visit RJ's Recreational Vehicles in West Chicago. Restrictions may apply. See dealer for details. For safety and training info, contact the ATV Safety Institute.
Not available in all states. Whoa, what do you have there?
It's a Reese & Irvy's frozen yogurt. We just had our robot make one.
A robot made your frozen yogurt?
Yes, the world's first fully interactive robot vending machine that serves 9 flavors of delicious yogurt with 6 amazing toppings. And it's available for an exclusive franchise opportunity.
How do I get my own Reese & Irvy's robots?
It's easy, but you better act now. Locations and machines are going fast. Just go to froyofranchising.com. That's froyofranchising.com. Check it out now, froyofranchising.com.
8:07 in our Guardian Security Services Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On the eastbound Adams Tollway, traffic is at a standstill right now. From the Elgin Toll Plaza to 31, there are 2 separate crashes blocking 2 left lanes. And past that, we still have delays from Barrington Road to 53 and Bussey to the River Road Toll. Northbound Tri-State, it's clogged up from Cicero to the Hinsdale Oasis and from the Cermak Toll to the Grand Avenue Curve. Reagan Tollway slow 31 to 59, 53 to Findlay, and 83 to the Tri-State. Veterans Memorial really slow from I-55 to the Reagan Tollway, then Butterfield to Roosevelt and Army Trail to 290. The Edens, 30 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose outbound 55 minutes. The Kennedy, an hour and 15 minutes. O'Hare to downtown outbound 55 minutes. The Ike, an hour and a half from Thorndale to downtown outbound an hour and 10 minutes. The Stevenson, an hour and 15 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. How about 45 minutes? And Ryan, 35 minutes, 95th to downtown. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. 80 years of quality mechanical solutions for your business. Here's meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today, very warm and more humid with some sun giving way to clouds, couple of afternoon showers, and a heavy thunderstorm. High today, 86, then mostly cloudy with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm tonight, low 67. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
In Chicago, 69 degrees. Next news coming up at 8:30, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by College Illinois. Secure your child's future by enrolling them today at collegeillinois.org.
Good morning. Welcome to your Good morning. Welcome to your Wednesday morning briefing. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
Donald Trump will hear, no matter where he is, that California wants a positive future.
Now, the book Clinton Cash is to Hillary Clinton what the famous Black Book is to the mafia. It's got all the names, all the dollar amounts, all of the figures.
Hello, darling. Sir, please. Do you need some help? Sir, Do you please. need some help? Sir, please.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So, in the immortal words of Hawk Harrelson, cinch it up and hunker down, Amy, because we are about to be visited upon by a force of nature. He is Milo Yiannopoulos. He is the Breitbart tech editor. He was at DePaul University in Lincoln Park last night to give a speech,
and what
give a little
happened?
talk as part of this tour that he's doing, a tour that shall remain nameless. Because of Milo's certain particular zest for life. Milo was speaking, and some of the professional agitators masquerading as college students decided to interrupt the event. You heard at the top some of the whistling. Literally a dog whistle or a whistle, not a dog whistle. I guess humans wouldn't have been able to hear it. But whistling and taking over. And this black young man and black young woman kind of came up to the stage and took the mic and took over the event. And Milo sat in this comfy chair, just kind of laughing at the passing scene. Then they had all their compatriots stand and face the audience. And it was a bit of a shout fest, as you'll hear.
This hysteria about microaggressions. Well, they're called microaggressions because you can't even see them. And the reason you can't see them is because they're not there. There's nothing happened. Hello, darling. Sir, please. Do you need some help? Sir, Do you please. need some help? Sir, please.
We'd like to ask you to please.
So it devolved into chaos from there. Milo committed the immortal, the cardinal sin, I guess I should say, on a college campus of a microaggression and was treated to that response. We're happy to be joined now by Milo Yiannopoulos, Breitbart tech editor. Milo, thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me. I think I'm a walking microaggression, or maybe a macroaggression. I have no idea.
Seriously, so you're doing these speeches on college campuses across the nation. And give us a sense if what happened last night at DePaul is similar to the treatment you've received.
Well, I have to say, this was by far the worst outpouring of, stroppiness and petulance and authoritarian yelling and misbehavior that I've experienced on my tour. It was by the way, it was a lovely introduction you just gave me. You had to sidestep about 11 things, but you did, all the words you can't say on morning radio, but you did so very elegantly.
Well, thank you very much. You don't make it easy.
If anyone's interested in the name of the tour, they can Google it. But no, actually, I have never called an event called a halt to an event early before in my tour. I've done, 30 dates so far. I'm doing 66 this year, possibly more. I have never done this before, and I did it because DePaul University security, which I partially paid for, because DePaul University thrust this demand for more money on the students for security at the last minute, in a sort of attempt to get the event cancelled, to try to make it impossible to do it, because having a conservative speaker on campus is just not allowed, and having a conservative gay speaker on campus just blows their minds. They just can't even deal with it. So they tried to get it cancelled last minute. It didn't work. Anyway, I partially paid for the security, and the security sat back while a guy paced the stage and threatened to hit me. And they would do nothing. I asked for him to be removed from the stage, and they did not remove him from the stage. I've never seen anything like it in my life.
So you felt your security was in jeopardy. You were fearful of somebody attacking you?
Well, fearful is the wrong word. These kids don't scare me, but the guy was going to throw a punch at me for sure. And it became all very obvious to me that security were not there for my benefit, but were there to protect the rights of these outrageously rude and discourteous kids who don't want to allow other people to go to the event that they want to go. So, I mean, if you don't like me, you don't want to hear my stuff, then fine. Don't show up to my talk. But there were 550 people in that room who did want to hear it and who were there to have a good time and to enjoy themselves. And I've never done this before, but I had to call a halt to the event. So instead, I took the entire audience, like 500 people, out on march to the principal's office to ask him why the security, refused to remove, violently threatening people from the stage. Why? What? Because they have dark skin color, and is it more racist somehow or less? I don't even know what the crazy progressive lunacy of DePaul University is, but all I can tell you is that this has never happened to me before, and I've been to some very liberal colleges. I've been to liberal arts colleges. I've been to big state schools. This is the worst it has ever been, and as a Catholic, I'm very shocked that this is the state of America's largest Catholic university. Very shocked.
Well, there are a couple of things there. One is that Chicago has one of the most virulent strains of totalitarianism that's out there. And secondly, DePaul is a Catholic university for Catholics who hate Catholicism. So that's
I'm starting to pick this up. I'm starting to pick this up.
Yeah. By the way, I like the fact that you refer to marching the students to the principal's office.
Yeah,
because it really is. I mean, high school is not even as advanced as some of these kids are. Not the kids that brought you to speak, but those protesters that made you shut down the event. But it seems to me, I think it's fair to say you're a bit of a provocateur, and very much in the Andrew Breitbart tradition. It seems to me that you relish those who are detractors of yours as much, if not more so, than supporters.
Well, I'm flattered by the comparison. Thank you. When they show up, I'm giving talks about free speech, and I'm giving talks about how the progressive left, whatever you want to call it, shuts people down because it doesn't have arguments, and it prefers to yell and to ban you and to make it impossible for you to speak, rather than to show up and have polite debate, rather than to show up and interrogate your arguments. Look what happened last night. I don't even need to say anything. By the time I arrive on campus, my point has already been proven for me. And if these guys who want to disrupt and shouting stuff about me, shouting stuff about Trump, if they had any sense, if they were the remotest bit smart, they would realize that every time they do this, and this hits the local news, and then the national news, if they really get out of hand like they did last night, they're creating tens of thousands of Trump voters every time they do this. So from my point of view, sweethearts, you go right ahead. But I think it was a shame for the people in the hall last night that didn't get to hear, whatever distasteful and politically incorrect jokes I was going to tell in the remaining 45 minutes.
Well, that's what I was going to say. What's the premise of your tour? What are you trying to teach these kiddies that you've had running into safe spaces?
Well, so my tour is a kind of performance art, I suppose. I mean, it's almost more like a stand-up tour than a traditional college lecture tour. I just sort of tell some jokes, read some statistics, shine a light on the absurdity of some progressive claims. Like, the campus rape culture epidemic, which of course doesn't exist. It's nonsense. The wage gap, not true. I make some jokes about feminism. I make some jokes about stuff, about things you're not really supposed to joke about these days, but about which everyone's desperate to laugh because they're preposterous. The lunacy of the progressive left privileging, Islamic immigration over the rights of women and gays, saying, oh, it's great, we should have 1.4 million, Syrian refugees in Germany. Never mind the rape epidemics and the gay people that end up being beaten up by all of these, barbaric Muslim immigrants from God knows where. The absurdity, the lunacy of the progressive left holding these simultaneously contradictory positions is intrinsically hilarious. And so I just try to draw attention to the hypocrisy and the stupidity of it all. And they don't like that very much, because if there's one thing authoritarians and dictators don't like, it's the sound of laughter.
What did you say to some of the black female protesters who turned up at DePaul?
You see, after your elegant introduction, I'm not sure if I can quote myself directly, but
yes,
I said something along the lines of, you'll have to go and look for the video online if you want to see it in its in its original form. But I said something like, I've just worked out why so many young black girls are at the front of the stage. I think I was with their brothers last night. And they just don't like being laughed at. One joke I can tell you verbatim was, they're out on stage, and at this point, I thought that the police department and security were going to haul them off. And I said, you're up here protesting. Well, give it 20 minutes. Black incarceration rates are going to get even worse.
Hi-oh. Is this thing on?
Did I just say that?
Another one. Why we're doing Milo's greatest hits here.
Might as well.
What did you say to the female ringleader, the protest group that claimed she had been silenced for 200 years?
Oh, I said, you look good for it, darling. You don't look that old. She said, kid, I have been oppressed for 200 years. And I'm like, well, you don't look that old. Good for you.
All right, Milo,
that's the stuff that I think they're not receiving well on places like DePaul.
Yeah. And what about, how has Donald Trump help give you some new material?
Sorry, say again?
How has Donald Trump helped give you new material?
Well, Trump, like me, I think we're both kind of Voldemort figures for the progressive left, So they don't even speak our name. I see my name on Twitter sometimes, and it's like M-star, because they can't even spell it out in full, because, like my spirit will infect them if they even dare to spell my name. I don't know. It's so funny. So, Trump and I are both like that, and we both really just don't care about being called names. And this is the thing. When you realize that the left has no power over you, if you don't care about the names it calls you, if you know that you're not a sexist and they call you a sexist, you don't care, nothing bad happens. If you know you're not a racist and they call you a racist, you know you're not, nothing bad happens. If you remove the left's power over you by looking them in the face and saying, you know what, you can call me all the names you want, it isn't true. Where's the facts? Where's the specifics? Give me the numbers, give me the data. They do what they did last night, which is melt down in fury and confusion and panic.
And so where does the Milo Rambling Wreck go to next, I should say?
My wrecking ball is next moving to California. So Thursday night, I'm going to be at UC Santa Barbara. And then while I'm in California, we're doing UCLA, UC San Diego, UC Irvine, and a couple of other things. And, of course, we'll be at the Trump rally in San Diego, too.
And as a tech editor for Breitbart, what's your take on the whole Facebook flap and the powwow with some conservative, a selection of conservatives and so forth? Do you concern yourself with that, or do you think it's not much ado about nothing?
When I'm not causing chaos on college campuses, I do have a day job as tech editor for Breitbart. So I was actually at the center of this story. I challenged Mark Zuckerberg to a debate, and Facebook told ABC News they'd received my debate offer, but were not planning to respond to it. What Facebook did, it's very clear, obviously, for, Silicon Valley companies riddled with, crazy intersectional far left, progressive nonsense. It's very clear what was happening. It was a human element to the trending topics. Also, there are huge concerns about censorship of perfectly respectable, reasonable, mainstream conservative points of view and jokes and all this kind of stuff. Facebook is not a safe, not a good place for conservatives. Now, what they did to try to paper over their PR disaster when it came out that they were gerrymandering trending topics was to invite a bunch of conservatives to go meet Mark Zuckerberg. But of course, they chose the safest kind of establishment conservatives, broadcast types, and then of course, crazy going back. People whose audiences, do not go younger than 55. Well, people over 55 aren't the group that Facebook's having problems with. Facebook's having problems with people that are fans of me. Like 15, 25, 35-year-olds to a center or right of center who don't trust Facebook, don't like Facebook. I tell you the most damning thing about it. Young people are on Facebook, but they lie to pollsters about it. They say they're not. And they say they're not because Facebook has become so uncool. The brand is so untrustworthy and unloved among millennials and, people my age, 35 and above. People lie to pollsters about whether they're on Facebook. That's a horrendous position for this network to be in. And Zuckerberg could have addressed this directly by debating me or just sitting down for an interview with me and talking honestly about the political biases in his network. He could have addressed it a number of ways. Instead, what he did was a photo op with a few desperate, fame-hungry, types and a few kind of lazy establishment conservatives who are close to retirement who have no effect really on anything and nobody cares about and nobody listens to. I mean, look, conservative media is done. It's over. Nobody listens to conservative media anymore. Look at the declining power, even of great magazines like National Review. Voters don't care anymore. They don't read this stuff, and they don't care about it. They don't listen to them. The power to influence the voters, that conservative media used to have, is gone. There are very few publications. The publications that took Donald Trump seriously in the early days, for instance, that now still speak to people under 55, like Breitbart, I have to say, which is one of the reasons I work there, because they actually care about readers under 60. The old establishment bastions of conservative media are, their readers are all dying, their listeners are all dying, their viewers are all dying, and in 20 years they will be irrelevant. And these are the people that Facebook chose to invite because they knew that they'd be safe.
All right. Well, that's a tour de force answer to that question. Milo Yiannopoulos, he's the Breitbart tech editor. You catch him at a college campus near you. Milo, we got to go. Those DePaul protesters are trying to break down our studio door here. So
good luck with that. Make sure you get your tetanus jabs.
Thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Cheers. Take care. Bye.
Eddie joined us on our Turnkey.pro answer line.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Sunshine right now, some hazy sunshine actually, but the clouds and some heavy thunderstorms moving in here late this afternoon, a high of 86 degrees. Tonight, showers in spots. And tomorrow, it's going to be very warm, very humid, but sunshine and some clouds, a high of 84. Let's get the travel times. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Still really heavy, Amy. Eastbound Adams Tollway jammed from the Elgin Toll to before the Fox River Bridge with a crash now blocking one left lane. Northbound Tri-State and Veterans Memorial still really clogged up too. The Edens, 33 minutes Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 45. The Kennedy, an hour and 15 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 55 minutes. The Ike, an hour and 25 minutes. Thorndale to the Loop, outbound it's 55 minutes. Stevenson, an hour and 10 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive, and the Ryan, 35 minutes, 95 to downtown. Jim Talamonte of the Guardian Security Services Traffic Center.
The Greater Chicago Jewish Festival is taking place on Sunday, June 5th at the Cook County Forest Preserve on Oakton, just west of Lehigh. It's featuring 3 stages of continuous music. There's an art fair. There's kosher food fair. Everyone is welcome at the festival, and admission is a suggested $5 donation. For more information, visit jewishfestival.org. That's jewishfestival.org.
Hi, I'm Lex Howard, CEO of Balance of Nature. Statistics show that most people will listen to this commercial 7 times before they finally purchase Balance of Nature. Don't be a statistic. Take action to determine your future.
My mother switched over to Balance of Nature from all the vitamins, and she was having a lot of issues. She's 71, and she had issues with irritable bowel syndrome and things like that, and then like even urinating in the middle of the night, and all of that has cleared up. I mean, there's a lady that just was on the radio recently said, like, you changed her quality of life. Like, totally you did that for my mother.
Begin giving your body the fruits and vegetables it needs every day. Accept and complete Dr. Howard's 120-day health challenge to earn a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
Great talent is the driving force behind your successful business. If you don't have the right people in key roles, then you have talent gaps. IMC Solutions identifies those gaps and delivers expertise in recruiting the right talent to fill them, leaving you free to succeed.
Hi,
Hi, I'm Linda Nichols. A past client called because they don't have an HR department, but they need HR expertise and knowledge to do things like write job descriptions, revise employee handbooks, manage compliance and benefits. We help them by providing on-demand HR services. It was on a part-time basis and a project basis. Our consultant spent time with the client but was able to do most of the work off-site, sparing the client's time and resources. As the client grows, the consulting time can adjust to their needs.
IMC Solutions understands the unique challenges of your business, making the tough job of hiring easy. Get started on finding your next hire today at imcsolutions.com or call Linda Nichols at 630-637-6200. Place your orders for promotional items now for the year. Get ready for the big trade show. Provide shirts or jackets for all of your employees, students, or church members. Or giveaway items like coffee mugs, pens, or hats. Whatever it is, you can trust an American to take care of it.
This is Sam Gilberto, president of American Embroidery and Screen Printing and American Marketing Products. We specialize in putting your logo on just about anything. Our focus is entirely on you, our customer. We want every customer experience to be outstanding.
Here's an offer to help your budgets for the new year. 10% off and free artwork on embroidery and screen printing orders for all new customers. 10% off and free artwork on embroidery and screen printing orders for all new customers.
We have the capability, capacity, and know-how to get your job done right and on time.
Call 630-766-2825. 630-766-2825. Get more at trustinamerican.com.
My name is David Hochberg, and I'm Vice President of Lending at Pearl Mortgage. If you're looking to refinance your existing home to eliminate PMI, give me a call. Joey heard me encouraging borrowers with FHA loans to call me to eliminate PMI and reduce their interest rate, and Joey is ecstatic he did. I helped Joey refinance out of his FHA loan, eliminated his PMI, lowered his rate, paid all his closing costs, and saved him over $250 a month. One phone call to me increased Joey's family's cash flow 3 G's a year. If you have an FHA loan and would like to see if you can eliminate PMI, lower your rate and monthly payments like Joey did, pick up the phone and give me a call now at 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. I've helped thousands of AM560 listeners, but I can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage and Equal Housing Lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage License 4358, RMLA, NMLS 19186.
AM560, The Answer.
Milo, he's funny.
All right, talk about the Alpha and Omega. We go from Milo Yiannopoulos to Steve Moore.
Hello.
From fabulous to button-down Steve Moore. We'll talk to him at 8:38.
And both are supporting Donald Trump. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
71 degrees, sunshine. In New Mexico, a riot happened outside a Trump rally. Albuquerque police officers were injured by protesters throwing rocks. One person arrested demonstrating outside that Donald Trump rally. They were opposed to the likely GOP presidential nominee. This morning, a Romanian computer hacker who says he got some of Hillary Clinton's State Department emails is expected to plead guilty. Marcel Lazar scheduled to appear in federal court in the D.C. suburbs. He's charged with breaking into the email account of a Clinton advisor. Federal prosecutors say they'll seek the death penalty against a man accused of mass murder at a South Carolina historic black church. The 22-year-old white man is accused of killing 9 when he opened fire at the Emmanuel AME Church in Charleston last June. 2 are critically hurt after a twin-funnel tornado tore through Dodge City, Kansas. More storms and high winds could continue throughout the week in the Great Plains. A man is dead after crashing an ATV on Chicago's southwest side. Police say he was not wearing a helmet when the four-wheeler slammed into another vehicle near 62nd and Austin. A search is underway to find a suspect who fired gunshots at a Chicago police car on the north side. Authorities say the officers were driving on Peterson Avenue early this morning when they noticed someone on a bike yelling gang slogans. They tried to stop that bike, but then several shots were fired at their car, and the bike fled the scene. And it seems as if all those dead voters in Chicago are moving to Southern California. At least 200 of the departed cast ballots in next month's primary election in Los Angeles. Reporters for CBS 2 in L.A. did some research and found that more than 212 in Los Angeles County alone are on both the voter rolls and the Social Security death records. Cubs over St. Louis 12-3. Cleveland nipped the White Sox and Chris Sales 6-2. The news, a service of Accountemps. Do you need accounting and finance professionals for long-term or recurring projects? If you prefer the same professional to handle your project through its duration, Accountemps salary professional service may be the solution. Call today or visit Accountemps.com. Accountemps, a Robert Half company. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher says people need to eat their crow and move on.
Don't underestimate the hurt feelings. People have painted themselves into a corner. They've got egg on their face, and pride is a powerful emotion. There's a lot of prideful people now who have to say, okay, I was wrong, didn't think he could get the nomination, didn't think people would get behind him. He's got the nomination. People are behind him.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Bubba Burger is the official burger of Memorial Day. Dust off the grill and pick up some juicy Bubba Burgers to kick your summer off right. Visit BubbaFoods.com to find a retailer nearest you.
This is your captain speaking. You are now free to roam.
Fact. College Illinois 529 prepaid tuition can help pay tuition at schools across the nation, not just in Illinois. Purchase now and lock in your college cost at today's plan rates before the May 31st deadline. Enroll today at collegeillinois.org.
Tea times, golf outings, driving range, golf academy, brunch, dinner, weddings, banquets, receptions. Find and do it all at the Bolingbrook Golf Club. Info online at bolingbrookgolfclub.com.
Hey, let's get sentimental. Think about how much your father means to you. Now ask, what am I getting Dad for Father's Day on June 19th? It's weird, but did you know that 82% of all people don't know that you're supposed to change pillows every 2 years or less? That's because pillows absorb dead skin, dirt, skin, oils, and dust mites that can cause allergies, acne, asthma, and who knows what else. So if you haven't already done so, you need a washable MyPillow, and so does your dad. I may buy one for my dog Hunter. With a 10-year warranty, it's a great gift and health investment as well. And you'll sleep better. I do. That's why MyPillow is the official pillow of the National Sleep Foundation. Visit MyPillow.com or call 1-800-489-0201. Use the promo code Joe for the 2-for-1 offer. Keep one for you. Do it now. 800-489-0201 or online at MyPillow.com. Promo code Joe. 800-489-0201.
Right now at Feldco, get 2 windows for the price of 1. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
Listen to AM 560 on your mobile device. Now available on iHeartRadio. Online at iHeartRadio.com.
8:35, Guardian Security Services Traffic Center time. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The eastbound Adams Tollway is really jammed. From the Elgin Toll Plaza to before the Fox River Bridge, 2 separate crashes still have a left lane blocked. Tri-State southbound bumper to bumper, 21 to 137. Northbound 115th to 31st. And from the Cermak Toll to Grand Avenue, Veterans Memorial very slow from I-55 most of the way to Roosevelt and North Avenue to 290. The Edens is 33 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 45. The Kennedy, an hour and 10 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, 40 minutes from Montrose, 30 in the Express, outbound 50 downtown to O'Hare. The Eisenhower, an hour and 25 minutes. Thorndale to the Loop, outbound 55 minutes. Stevenson, an hour and 5 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 39 minutes. The Ryan is 35 minutes, 95th to downtown. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center. 80 years of quality mechanical solutions for your business. A couple of showers and heavy thunderstorms on tap for late in the day. High 86. Cloudy, mild, couple of showers and storms overnight. Low 67. 72 at O'Hare. Next news at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by HealthQuest Radio with Dr. David Kolbaba. HealthQuest Radio is heard Saturday mornings at 11 o'clock here on AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy,
that song means it's time for Steve Moore.
Why are we talking like this?
Chief Economist of the Heritage Foundation. But first, a little bit of refresher on what happened at that Trump rally in Albuquerque yesterday.
Yeah, Donald Trump had to respond to Hillary Clinton's new attack ads that's saying, that he was cheering for the fall of the housing market, and he took his chance to respond in front of the thousands of fans.
And I will never say this, but she screams, it drives me crazy. I didn't say it. I can't listen. She goes, and Donald Trump is a terrible person. And he wanted to buy housing when it was at a low point. Who the hell doesn't? Who doesn't?
Yeah. Maybe if she would have bought that Chappaqua compound at the market low, she wouldn't have had trouble paying her mortgages. In addition to that, there were protests outside the Trump rally, yelling F Trump, F the police, throwing bottles at police.
And rocks.
Now, the book Clinton Cash.
That's not it. That's it.
But you can see that things now are steadily eroding. We're going to move back a little bit, Wolf. You can see the smoke. Now lots of protesters are throwing rocks at police. This has now descended into chaos as we're moving back.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, those Trump protesters are doing nothing but helping Mr. Trump. And I would encourage people to check out a piece offered up at the American Interest by Walter Russell Mead. The meaning of Mr. Trump. He writes, what energizes the Trump phenomenon is the power of no. People who think the train is about to head off a cliff and want to pull the emergency brake that stops the train, even if they don't know what happens next. I think that's a pretty succinct thesis on the Trump movement and the throngs that turned out for him in Albuquerque last night. But for more on this and matters economic, we're now joined by the aforesaid Steve Moore, Chief Economist of the Heritage Foundation. Steve, thanks for joining us.
Hi, guys. Good morning. And by the way, I'm going to slip you the answer, okay, about how you get rich.
Yes.
All right? I want you guys to write this down, okay?
Okay.
This is the magic formula for becoming a millionaire or billionaire.
First start
Ready?
with $1 million? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a Steve. No, here it is. Write this down. Buy low, sell high.
Yeah.
Buy low.
Yeah.
That was now, who would have thought that Donald Trump is doing that?
That's why you're the Chief Economist at the Heritage Foundation.
He's got to be guilty of something. You know, I mean, come on.
Well,
You're
how
not
much
allowed
money
to
did he
buy
make
low.
when the bubble broke? Do you know, Stephen Moore?
Of course, I think Hillary doesn't really understand that. She made her millions in the cattle futures market.
That's right. She has a particular talent in that area of financial investment.
Stephen Moore, do you have any idea how much Donald Trump made when, the housing bubble broke?
Hopefully a lot. Look, I'm one of these people who likes when people get rich. I know that Hillary and her Democratic friends think it's some kind of crime to get rich in this country, but
not for them.
Gee, I thought that was the American dream.
Yeah, they don't have any problem getting rich. They don't see any problem with themselves getting rich. And also, of course, Hillary in 2007 said some different things than she's saying today about whose fault the housing bubble bursting actually was. And she talked about people who essentially signed signature loans with no proof of income, and
right.
they should have known what they were getting into. That's a little bit different from her Wall Street rhetoric of today.
Well, there's a couple things about the financial crisis back in that nightmare that we all faced in 2008 and 2009. One is that, look, there's a lot of blame to go around almost every party involved in it, including, and most importantly, government. I went to see that movie a couple weeks ago, The Big Short, which was an entertaining movie, and it's informative about what happened. But do you know that whole movie, which was, I think, 2 hours long, they never said the words Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac?
Yeah, well, that's the problem.
Oh, why not?
I mean, they never mentioned the two institutions that were most responsible for the crisis. The other thing I want to get off my chest is that Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, the sirens should be going off in Washington, but nobody seems to be noticing. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are right back to their old tricks of providing low down payment, 3% down payment. Who gets a 3% down payment loan these days on a mortgage? And they're 100% taxpayer guaranteed, and we are sowing the seeds for another financial crisis because it's the same old bad behavior that led to the crisis in the first place. By the way, you're not going to hear Hillary, criticize Fannie and Freddie because look, all her cronies are on the board of that organization.
Right.
That's how she gets $250,000 to give a speech.
Or got golden parachutes. Yeah, I mean, the Big Short, for people who've seen it or read Michael Lewis's book, you have to remember, as good a writer as Michael Lewis is, he's a man of the left, and that's why Fannie and Freddie are left out.
So it's amazing we're up to the same thing. And, I wrote that piece about 6 months ago called Why I Can't Get a Mortgage. I put 25% down on my house, and I couldn't qualify. And if only I had a smaller income and wasn't able to afford my mortgage, I would have gotten, government assistance.
So do you see the history repeating itself here where we're going to have another housing bubble burst?
I hope not. Jeez, I mean, the one thing that's really strong for housing, obviously, right now is that these interest rates are as low as they've been in 50 years. So, that's a very positive thing. But, look, we're one, negative report from going into another recession right now. If that happens, people can't afford to pay their mortgages. People can't afford to buy new houses. We're in an extremely precarious situation. I love what you were just saying, Dan. Who was that who said, everybody just wants to stop the train before it goes off the cliff, and we don't know what happens. We don't know if we're going to get thrown into another car when that happens. But at least Trump is shouting the alarms. I mean, listen to Barack Obama going around the country. I'm the Messiah. I saved the economy. Where's all the applause for me? I'm the one. I mean, nobody really believes that.
Well, and it's important that we don't have the housing bubble burst again because there'll be a lot more people out of a home than there were previously.
You're right about that.
This from Pew Research, the largest cohort of 18 to 34-year-olds, 32% are living in their parents' homes, Steve, so we can't have the kids thrown out of the basement.
You know what? My wife just showed me that last night, before we went to bed, and she said, look at this statistic. More people, I think, if I read the statistic correctly, more 18 to 34 years old, that cohort of millennials, live in their parents' basement than have a house themselves.
Yes.
I mean, that's a pretty depressing statistic. And by the way, I know it's true. You know how, guys, I know that's true?
Because you have little Moors living at home?
I have a 23-year-old living in my basement. I can't get him off the couch. So, but this is the millennial generation, right? I mean, they're probably going to be living with us until they're 50. They're going to say, "Come on, where's the pizza? Where's the? I thought you were going to make beef stroganoff tonight."
Wait, okay.
Ma, where's the meatloaf?
I have a personal question to ask you. You said your 23-year-old daughter's living with you. Are you charging
my
son? Are you charging him rent?
How can I? He doesn't have a job.
Right. Are you making him do chores?
My wife, who is his, what would she be? His stepmom. She's like, get that kid out of here. He's driving me crazy. So, I don't know how much longer this is going to last. It's causing a lot of marital strife. I mean, he's a good kid, but look, the problem is for college graduates right now, there just aren't a lot of good jobs out there. I mean, sure, he could work at Walmart or he could work at McDonald's flipping burgers at $12 an hour.
$15 an hour in Chicago.
Yeah.
$15 in New York.
I really think these millennials don't want to move because sometimes you have to move. Well, not out of your parents' basement, but I mean, you have to move cities in order to get a job to start somewhere. But no one wants this. They're waiting for this perfect job. I mean,
You're right about that.
Works.
Yeah, because
You're right about
they're
that.
all house cats.
And by the way, this is sometimes I don't practice what I preach because I got my son in my basement. But for those who are out there without a job, especially if you're a young person, the most important thing to find a good job is to have a job. Right. Even if it's no matter what you're doing, have a job. So prove to your employer that you know how to do something. This is why I think raising the minimum wage is such a terrible idea because we're pricing young people out of the job market. And when you do that, that makes it harder to get a good job. And the other thing is, look, parents. If you've got a teenager, if you've got a kid who's 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, get them a job this summer. The best thing you can do is get them out there working, whether it's, caddying. I mean, remember, I used to caddy at Indian Hill Country Club.
Just like Bill Murray.
I got $9 a bag back then. So I could make, if I went out twice with 2 bags, I could make $36 a day. My back was sore as hell, but, that was pretty good money back then.
Yeah, I grew up caddying too. It's the best job I've had to this point. It's still the best job I've had.
Do you guys know why Indian Hill Country Club is famous?
Caddyshack, Bill Murray.
Gosh, Dan, you are on top of everything this morning. Very good. Yeah, Bill Murray was a caddy. Bill Murray, what's his brother's name? Who wrote the
Brian?
Yeah, they were both caddies at Indian Hill Country Club, and that's that Caddy Shack. I can show you where it is, folks.
Let me.
What happened in the Caddy Shack?
And also Mr. Haver, wasn't Haverkamp, Mr. Haverkamp, an actual member at Indian Hill, but he was a good player. He wasn't the doddering senior that was portrayed in Caddy Shack.
You got that right. And by the way, you look very good. And when you wear that hat and you get a free cup of soup.
Yeah, there you go. Very good. Nobody does a Rodney Dangerfield like Steve Moore. Hey, Steve, I've got a suggestion for your 23-year-old son that's sitting in your basement with nothing to do. Let him take Steve Moore's Rolls Royce out there and be an Uber driver.
Yeah, well, look, but Donald Trump is president. I'm going to have a Rolls Royce. And before I go, I want to just thank you guys so much for mentioning my new book, which is out this week, Fueling Freedom. Can't tell you how much I appreciate the free endorsement.
What's
Fueling Freedom, Steve Moore's new book. We're missing not promoting that.
What's wrong with you, Dan?
I apologize
profusely. And I'm going to be out in Chicago sometime in the next few weeks with my friends at Heartland Institute doing an event with them on that, so I will give you the heads up. And I'm going to be out there in September or something like that with you guys, right? For some Freedom conference you're having?
Yeah, that's in October. That'll be a couple of weeks before the election, so it'll be perfect timing.
That's going to be fun. Thanks for paying me that huge honorarium.
Your son came straight out of Prof's pocket.
Remember, guys, you remember what my speaking fee is, right?
Yes.
Hillary Clinton.
$250,000.
That's right. Steve Moore, Chief Economist of the Heritage Foundation. The book Fueling Freedom. Steve, thanks for joining us.
Okay, have a great week, guys. Take care.
You too. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro. Buy the book. Answer line.
Hey, Ma! Can we get some meatloaf? Hey, Ma! The meatloaf! We want it now! The meatloaf!
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
Coming up next, Susan Rice speaks. Dan's going to dish it up for you. And here's your forecast. We have some hazy sunshine right now, some nasty stuff, some heavy thunderstorms rolling through here this afternoon, a high of 86 degrees. Then tonight, a couple of showers, a thunderstorm, and on tomorrow, Thursday, very warm, humid clouds and sunshine, a high of 84. Let's get the travel times. Anything sticky, hot, and humid on the roadways? Here's Jim Telemonte.
Oh, it's pretty sticky on the Eisenhower, Amy. It is an hour and 25 minutes still from Thorndale to downtown, an hour and 5 minutes from Manheim. Outbound nasty, too. 55 minutes downtown to Thorndale. Eden's 25 minutes, Lake Hook to the junction, outbound 45. The Kennedy, an hour and 10 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, 40 minutes from Montrose, 30 in the Express, outbound 50 downtown to the airport. Stevenson, an hour and 5 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 39 minutes. The Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Lakeshore Drive, southbound slow Lawrence to Fullerton, northbound from the Stevenson to Jackson. Tri-State stop and go, southbound 21 to 137, northbound 87th to 31st, and from the Cermak toll to the Grand Avenue curve. The other tollways are still pretty heavy, too. Jim Talamonte in the Guardian Security Services Traffic Center.
Spring is here, and with that comes spring cleaning. So register to win a 3-room carpet cleaning courtesy of our good friends over there at Executive Green. Do it through the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Visit executivegreencarpetcleaning.com and learn about their cleaning services, which include carpets, rug, upholstery, tile, and grout. Everything you need to freshen up your house for spring.
You know the name Barbara Walters. Now remember the company, Ameritrust Mortgage.
Ameritrust Mortgage was formed along with a talented professional staff that makes your mortgage process easy, swift, and cost-efficient for you, the home buyer, and for those who refinance. Ameritrust is all-inclusive, start to finish, the way lending should be. At Ameritrust, we believe it has been our privilege to have helped thousands of people over 30 years with purchasing or refinancing their home. We are here to help. Let us customize a loan program for your specific needs, FHA, VA, or conventional. At Ameritrust, the responsibility belongs to me. It's my name on the door. I am the president. I am Barbara Walters. Call Ameritrust now, 815-459-7303. Again, that number is 815-459-7303, or visit us at am560myhome.com.
Ameritrust Mortgage is an equal housing lender. Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee number 720, NMLS number 217229.
We're so excited about our sold-out golf outing at the Bolingbrook Golf Club coming up on Thursday, June 16th to benefit Operation Support Our Troops America.
If you weren't able to get in this year, don't worry. You can still reserve a tee time at the Bolingbrook Golf Club anytime this spring or summer by visiting BolingbrookGolfClub.com.
And thanks to the sponsors who are making our golf outing possible.
Remax Professionals, Charity Golf International, Dr. Amy and Associates, MJ Miller and Company Jewelers in Barrington, Augustino's Rock and Roll Deli, and Pearl Mortgage.
Hi, this is Dr. David Kolbaba. You know, hormone balance is a big deal. If your hormones are out of whack, it can account for so many health challenges like low energy and fatigue, spaced out memory, low sex drive, otherwise known as the dead in bed syndrome. Nothing excites you anymore with you watching more and more TV every night, misusing food or alcohol, and then there's the hair loss that you thought was age appropriate, and then the weight gain. Let me tell you about our specially priced dirt cheap hormone test. No blood, just saliva. Interesting that with over 33 years in private practice, I've never seen normal hormone test results in the first go-around. And that's why you need to have us help you balance your hormones once and for all. So call our HealthQuest radio hotline at 800-794-1855. You can't get any cheaper than dirt cheap. No blood, just spit. Call 800-794-1855. Oh, and be sure to listen to HealthQuest Radio with me, Dr. David Kolbaba, this Saturday morning at 11. But for now, call 800-794-1855.
Citadel LLC has an opening for the position of execution trader located in Chicago, Illinois. Job duties for the position include managing trade execution, including both low-touch platforms and manual/voice, within the parameters established by the business. This is a full-time position. To apply, send resumes by mail to Employee Relations/LW, attention R0254, Citadel LLC, 131 South Dearborn Street, 32nd floor, Chicago, Illinois, 60603.
Coming up next, it's me, Mike Gallagher, right after Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560, The Answer.
So it's commencement speech time, Amy, and of course...
no, don't make me get out my speech.
No.
From Hersey High School in 2003, 2004. Can't remember.
It couldn't be any worse than Susan Rice's speech at Florida International University. Susan Rice, you'll recall, she was the Benghazi misinformation officer.
Oh, that's right. It was all about the video. That's why.
Yeah,
before American dies.
The good ambassador, Susan Rice. She had something to say at a Florida International University about the diversity or lack thereof within national security personnel, as if that's the most important thing when you're talking about something as important as national security. Susan Rice at Florida International offering this.
But we must acknowledge that our national security agencies have not yet drawn fully on the strengths of our great nation. Minorities still make up less than 20% of our senior diplomats, less than 15% of senior military officers and senior intelligence officials. Too often, our national security workforce has been what former Florida Senator Bob Graham called white, male, and Yale.
How do you feel about that? Because you're white, you're a male.
Boy, that's
but you're not Yale.
Interesting.
Sorry.
Bill Clinton.
Uh-huh.
Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton, where'd they meet?
Yale.
Right.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Balance of Nature is my savior. I love this stuff. I'm telling you right now, it's awesome. I was trying to get my blood pressure regulated, okay? And like after 3 days of taking this thing, my blood pressure went back down to normal. I am ecstatic. I am so happy with this stuff.
I tried the Fiber and Spice. I love it. I've been drinking it like every day, like one in the morning and in the afternoon and at night. And I feel like I'm losing weight because it keeps me full and I'm not craving for anything not healthy.
It's time you had a Balance of Nature experience in your own life. Call now. Accept and complete Dr. Howard's 120-day challenge to earn a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751.